we're doing today is I've grabbed 4 MGP sourced high proof whiskeys. Now the Bell Meade is going to be the lower proof one at 107. The rest of these are barrel strength. And I've had Jill pour them into here and label them. And I've got a piece of paper over here that tells me what they are. And so I'm going to blind them and I'm going to try to rank them. And then we're going to see how it all comes out. And I've actually got a really cool kit for this in the mail, which is another fun thing. Every time we're in that, and of course, for those that are on TikTok, we were just talking about this. We're in that weird space with our size to where everybody wants to send us stuff, but nobody really wants to pay us to promote things. And we may start like asking for money, but at this point, when somebody offers to send me something, it's like, there's no guarantee. Send me stuff. No guarantee I'm going to do a video. I'm not, I don't want a sponsored video at this point because I just want to tell the truth about it and not have it be an ad read. But you just got to send me 3 times the amount I actually need for what I'm doing, because I'm going to start giving away one thing randomly on these live streams. And then I'm going to start giving away one to patrons as well. So example, somebody reached out about this ice ball mold, which I really like. Honestly, if it makes clear ice, I'm going to be super excited about this ice ball mold. But they're like, we'll send you an ice ball mold. You make a video. I was like, I may. Like, we've got a video we're about to do about some clear ice. If it works, if it's a good product, send it. I'll make them. I'll feature it in that video we were going to do anyway. But you got to send me 8 of them. Like, realistically, I need 2. You got to send me 8 because we're going to give some of these away here pretty soon. I got to film the video first, but we're going to give away these guys. We've got some tasting kits and stuff, and we're just having fun with it. Not a bourbon drinker, but the JD Racer's telling me I'm a bad influence. No, hey, bourbon is fun. Bourbon is fun, but if you're not into it, grab a beer, hang out with us. Like, you really ain't got to be into whiskey to hang out with us. That's what we're trying to do with all of our content, right? We're not trying to make it for folks super into whiskey. We're trying to make it entertaining for folks that are super into whiskey, but we're also trying to make it more widely appealing. Hey, Nate's got it. The bot of judgment here. Commandment number 11, thou shalt not take this seriously. We are very chill, Angel. We're just hanging out, having a good time. I've got, 72 of my best friends in here, and we're just having a good time. All right. Penelope barrel's my favorite. Well, let's try. I don't know what these are, so I have no idea. Like I said, Jill, my wife, randomized these for me while I was getting set up for the live stream. And so they're an ounce pour of these 4 bottles right here. And that's what I love about YouTube. Y'all can see the bottles. I ain't even got to tell you. You can see them. So make sure I'm pouring the right ones in the right thing. A, B, C. See you later. So these Glencairns are just Glens I ordered on Amazon, and my wife's sister has like a Cricut, one of these little vinyl cutting machines. So I had her put me some letters on there so y'all could see them. Hopefully the image is not, I don't think it's backwards. I think y'all can see it. Don't drink a lot of bourbon either, but I learned a lot here. Well, thank you, 4Leaf. I appreciate it. EA's Taylor small batch for $60. Yes. Buy all of it you can. All of it. Every bottle. Discord link isn't working. Cheech, could you help out with that if you're still in the chat, please? But again, I'll try to update it if it's not working. I might be able to post it in the chat here. Hold on. Let me see if I've got Discord open. I can do. Oh, hold on. Don't switch. I'm going to do invite people. Copy that sucker right there. And then I'm going to paste the updated. It changes regularly for some reason or another. That should be an updated Discord link if you want to right there. So we've got quite a few folks over in Discord. It's a lot of fun over there. You get to help me pick a Lincoln, which you may be late. I'm going to look at one Friday. So what do you figure is the best quality bourbon for about $150 to $200? What do y'all think is the best? If you're talking like full secondary prices, $150 to $200. Like, what is $150 to $200? Like, you could probably find a Stag Junior in that range if you were looking in the right place. Been thinking about trying the Penelope. I like it a lot. I really do. And all of these should be MGP sourced, right? So this is an Old Scout store pick This is the Alabama ABC store pick at 116 point something or another proof. I can't tell what that says, but 116 proof. This is Redline, which we did a video came out today about the Redline honey. This is different. This is their single barrel cask strength that is 113 proof. Of course, you've got the discontinued Belle Meade Reserve. If you find one of these around somewhere, this Belle Meade Reserve, snatch it up because they're not pushing any more of those out. They're all Nelson Greenbrier now. They're a little different, and I think they're Kentucky only. So I'm buying every one of these I come across. So I've got a couple backups. And then Penelope Barrel Strength, and of course, that's 107 proof, I believe, right? 107? No, 108.3. That's right, 108.3. Penelope Bourbon Barrel Strength is 115.8 proof. So a lot of heat here. And no, I don't have any Coke. We are out of Coke. Coke's getting expensive. So we make a permanent one. Evan, I will get Will, who handles Discord for us, to do that. I apologize. We'll get a permanent one. That one should work for now, though. Retail, Paul, what do you mean retail? Blanton's Gold is delicious. A beginner should not be spending that much. True. Bottom judgment gives his blessings. So let's start with A. Penelope is one of the go-to, especially the toasted black label. I haven't tried that, Mo. I'll have to do it. What's the batch on the Penelope? This is their 4-grain batch number 8, it looks like. Is that 08? I may have to have a light. Again, it's kind of dark in here. I keep the lights kind of dark. This camera picks up a lot. Yeah, it looks like 08. And it looks like Jill just texted me that she won tickets to some concert tomorrow night. So I guess I know what I'm doing tomorrow night. And then I got to get up early and drive to freaking South Carolina to buy a Lincoln. Just join the Discord, Rusty. Go in there and look at the Lincoln thread and tell me which Lincoln. I'm looking at the white one with the blue interior. Like, is that the right one? Am I getting the wrong one? Now, I did get some disappointing news. I was talking about that on somebody else's live last night. So I wanted to take like Jefferson's Ocean. Y'all have heard of Jefferson's Ocean, right? They take it and they put the barrels on a vessel and they send it around the world and it sloshes around and it ages in the barrel and it's a unique experience. So I wanted to buy a barrel of bourbon from our local distillery and put it in the trunk of the Lincoln and drive it around for 2 years in the trunk of a Lincoln. Like, imagine the Alabama summer in the trunk of a Lincoln. But I found out yesterday that it is illegal in the state of Alabama to transport more than 5 gallons of bourbon. So what's going on, Lopez? Just sulking about the fact that I can't put a 53-gallon barrel of bourbon in the trunk of a Lincoln. She pulling her Lincoln card. She is cashing in that favor early for sure. I don't even know who the concert she entered on social media and she won. Crown Peach iced tea, nice. That's a good bourbon. Of course, all of these are good bourbons. I don't think any of these are bad. Obviously, got a lot of proof to it. Nice sweetness. I get kind of some dark fruit on the back of the palate. Not super oaky, so I don't know how much age that has. But that is right up my alley for a high proof whiskey. So the white one's the one, the 4-door white one. Nice. Sip it on Jefferson's. Awesome. And I apologize. I can only see about 5 or 6 comments here. So Alex, we're going to find out. If I buy the car, we're going to find out. I think the barrel would fit, but I'm not sure. We're going to find out. Just don't get pulled over. Well, I thought about, I could just buy one and sit it in the yard, but I want to drive it around, slice it around. Yes. 70 to 74 Continental. Mark III, we're going for the bigger one. So if you haven't driven anything heavier, we're going for the town car, not the Marks. So the even bigger ones. It's only illegal if you get caught. Those are wise words. Overpriced for what it is. It depends on the batch. Some of the batches are really, really good, though. Rogue Dead Guy whiskey. Okay. This one's good, sweet, not as high proof. I like this one, but it doesn't, like, it's actually very similar on the front of the palate, but it doesn't give you that kind of dark fruit sweetness, kind of richness that this one does. This one tastes like a lot less proof. I would say that's the Belle Meade Reserve if I had to guess, just based on proof alone. Like, this one's a lot simpler than whatever's going on in A. Yeah. That's just got that extra to it. And it could just be proof difference. Bootleggings is a 20s tradition. What's the difference between MGP? Well, MGP is Midwest Grain Products, right? So completely different distillery. Dickel's made by George Dickel. So they're two different distilleries. Midwest Grain Products has a completely different flavor profile. Like, George Dickel has a very mineral taste to it. And I'm just not a fan of George Dickel whiskey at all in any shape, form, or fashion. Get out my Glenlivet 12. Nice. Get out the good stuff and join us. Could make it look like a fuel tank. I could probably fake it, but it's just it just sucks. Columbia area. So I'll be in Columbia, up to South Carolina for me. But yeah, it's even heavier. The Mark IIIs are the Marks are the smaller Lincolns, and I'm going for a town car. So I want the big one. That almost tastes like a finished whiskey. If you told me that was, are any of these finished? I don't think any of these are finished. Like, that's a 4-grain. This Belle Meade is not finished. That's a single barrel Old Scout straight bourbon whiskey, not finished. This one, 6 years old, cask strength, not finished. Wow, like, that one has kind of an interesting fruitiness to it. It's not better than A to me. Tastes lower proof than A. Similar to B. Honestly, if you asked me, if you gave me a B and C back to back, I'd probably think they're the same thing. I'd probably say those are the same thing. I'm having a hard time deciding between these. I'm going to leave it in that order, I think. I think this one has just a little more to it. C is just slightly more plain than that. But honestly, if you just handed me one and then you handed me another one when I was done with it, I would just say they're the same pour. Yeah, we're doing a blind. So I've got 4 different MGP whiskeys. I have no idea which is in which glass. And so this is fun. If y'all don't do blinds at home, again, we're going to have a blind tasting kit we're going to be giving away maybe next week, definitely the week after. They're supposed to be in the mail. We're going to be giving away one on a live stream. We're going to give one to patrons that has glasses, and the letters are on the bottom, and it has a board where you put them in. It's just a really fun experience where you can kind of do this at home pretty easy, right? You don't have to have, cricket letters put on your glasses, and it comes with glasses and little bottles. So you can fill bottles up and send the whole kit or give it as a gift. It's kind of fun. Sucked in the TikTok rabbit hole and missed so much of this. We're just getting started. So we're just doing 4 MGP, Midwest Grain Products sourced whiskey. So these labels bought this whiskey from the same distiller, Midwest Grain Products, and they're all really high proof. So this one's 108. That's the lowest proof when the rest of them are 110s. And I don't know which one's in which glass. So we're just going to rank them, and then we're going to see what happens. And then after that, the stream's just going to, degrade into some debauchery. The 180-degree swivel passenger seat. I don't only think that may be in some of the Marks. So the Continentals is not going to have that. The Continental's not going to have it. Austin Smitty with the like. Thank you. Everybody pump those likes if you would. Let's get as many folks in here as we can. Don't forget the Discord. We've got Patreon going on. If we got 70 something people, if we can get 70 something people in here, hopefully in a few weeks, we can actually get this thing monetized. We turn on super chats, and maybe YouTube will throw me a few dollars for some ad revenue. Distilleries in Columbia. I wish I had more time. Honestly, I wish I had more time. We're trying to do this trip in one day. So I've got 5 hours up there by the car, 5 hours back. I couldn't even get a rental car. There are no rental cars, and I've got somebody going with me, and I really just want to drive it back with them. I don't want to have 2 cars coming back. So I ended up renting a U-Haul, and I rented the smallest U-Haul they'd give me. We're going to drive it up there, hopefully buy the car. If not, U-Haul just going to be mad at me because I'm returning it to the same place instead of the place in Columbia. So I don't think I'm going to have a ton of time, but we may see, there's somebody I was talking to on TikTok that was in Augusta, Georgia. We might swing through there and grab a beer with them or something. Tried the Blue Note Juke joint. That's pretty good stuff. I haven't had a bottle, but when I tried it, it was exceptional. Yeah, hey, Cheats right here. If y'all are not following Cheats, he does a really cool live stream late at night. I'm not a late night guy. I have a hard time. I come catch the first hour of his stream, then I got to go to bed. But this guy goes hard in the middle of the night. So make sure you're following Cheats and you check out his stream. Do you feel like sitting in the Glen for 15 minutes makes a difference? No, not to me. But I did have Jill pour them in a bottle because she was doing it like an hour or two ago, and them sitting here for a couple of hours would most definitely make a difference. So, especially only an ounce. A lot of that alcohol would dissipate. And so, I poured them in a bottle and then poured them in the glass when we started. Man. First pour of the night. Which Discovery Series are you pouring? Come by here. I'll get you a car. What kind of car are you going to get me? Where you at, Alex? Where you at? You going to get me a Lincoln Continental 70 to 74? Prefer a coupe if you got it, but go to Walton's Distillery. Nice. We're going to do some road trips. Like the whole point of the Lincoln is to do more road trips and film some of it for videos and go do cool, different distillery tours and things in the least economical car I could possibly find. Like it's 10 miles to the gallon, and we're going to enjoy every bit of it. It's like I told all my patrons, the only thing I promise is that I'm going to spend all the money we make from this channel in the least responsible way possible. Okay, so that one's interesting. Balcones? I haven't had Balcones. Haven't had Balcones. All right, so that one's different. That one's the most different. So it hits me with a little, just kind of a subtle bitterness in the mid palate, right? And I don't know how to describe that flavor, but it's unpleasant. Like this one has a nice kind of dark fruit at the finish, toward the end of the palate, mid palate and back. These are just kind of light. They're good, but they're kind of light. They're not super complex. This one has some complexity, but the flavor is not super pleasant to me. I wouldn't call it bad, but that dark fruit, it starts off like it's going to give you that dark fruit, but it just has kind of a slight unpleasant note to it. So it's not a bad whiskey, but it's just not as good as these other ones to me. Yeah, I think and you might like that flavor. So it's not terribly off-putting, but it's not my jam either. That one has it a little bit, but it's more subtle. So it's a little better. So this one has more flavors going on than these two, but I don't love the flavors. And see, I'm not getting the dark fruit going back through that way. Now my palate is scorched with all of the high proof bourbon. Great whiskey bars and atmosphere in Charleston. I love Charleston. I've been a couple of times. It's fantastic. We need to start setting up some road trips. Again, get into the Discord. We'll probably start prioritizing patrons and where they're at and stuff, but we're going to start trying to plan some road trips. We're going to go do some bourbon tours. I'm trying to figure out some barrel picks and stuff. And we're going to take that Lincoln all over the country. I got to go to SEMA this year, and I'm debating whether I'm going to drive the Lincoln. Maybe do like some bourbon hunting along the way. It's like a 30-something hour drive. We'll see. It just depends on how comfortable that car is to drive once we get it and start doing stuff. Iron Root and Lone Elm. Interesting. All right, so all of these are very similar. This one just kind of has that slight bitter note that's a little off-putting. So honestly, I think these are in order already. These are very close. This one's slightly better, and this one's slightly worse, but they're all very similar. First week in March, Whiskey Encore meetup. So where is that, Cheech? That's right. It's in St. Augustine, right? Now we've got the was it Podcast is doing a meetup in Nashville as well sometime in March. So we got to figure that out. Series 7, got it as a wedding gift from the future wife. Nice. So yeah, I need to get that added on my calendar there, Cheech. So let's figure out what these are, because I think this is the order. I think A, B, C, D, with these being interchangeable, and this just slightly less, and this one just slightly better. Not the same weekend. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna be busy in March then, aren't I? Gonna be busy in March. All right. So anybody want to pick? Y'all go ahead and get your guesses in. Between these 4 bottles, what's the order? What do you think? If you've had any of these, if you've tried any of these, or if you just want to randomly freaking guess and you've never had any of them, that's cool too. Like, that's fine. Guess. Let me know what you think the order of these is going to be. Relatively new viewer and have been loving your rating series. Well, thank you, Art. I appreciate it. Just for a baseline, I'd like to know what you rate some of the more common whiskeys like Jack Daniels and Johnny Walker. I'm not a big Johnny Walker fan. Don't drink a lot of that. As far as Jack Daniels goes, Jack Daniels is probably going to be like a low 70s, like a C, like a definitely a mixer. I would never, ever, ever just drink Jack Daniels, right? Normal, like old number 7 Jack Daniels. So that's going to be like a 70-ish, probably 70 right at. So for me, if it's below a 70, I'll never buy it. It's gone. It's done. And we're working on it. Like, I was watching ADHD Whiskey's live stream the other day, and he's doing a Doug DeMuro style that much smarter, right? Like ours is a little different each time, and we're trying to dial it in. You got to understand, we're new. We've only been posting content on YouTube for 10 weeks. We've only been posting regularly anywhere for 10 weeks. Like, we posted on TikTok for a year or so now, but it was very irregular. We just post when we had something. We took 6 months off. So we got to dial that in. I get how it's a little confusing, but that's where we would be. BDAC, ACBD. I mean, I love how y'all are picking these, even though you do. I want you to pick these. Not like, how do you know what's, y'all have no clue what's in these. So pick the bottles. What's your favorite distill? Buffalo Trace is just about it. If anybody tells you Buffalo Trace is not their favorite distiller, like if you're just trying the products and they say it's not Buffalo Trace, they're probably lying to you, or they're like really into whiskey. Cheech has got Penelope. So this is Cheech's Penelope, and then Old Scout, and then Belle Meade, and then the Redline. So he's saying first, second, third, fourth. Now, theoretically, just theoretically, the more whiskey you sell, theoretically, the better your relationship with MGP, and you can get better bottles. Somebody says something about Pepsi. And again, I can only see, I think literally I could see like 8 or 10. So if it scrolls too fast, I apologize for missing it. Feel free to post it again if you want me to answer anything. So I don't know which of these sells the most, right? I would assume like Penelope is probably the most known for me, but Old Scout's pretty good. These guys have been around for a long time. So I don't know, but this is also proof down, and this is a store pick. So this one could be very much off flavor, off profile. So this being off profile means, to me, it stands a real good shot of being the last one, but it also stands a shot of being the first one, because this is the only single barrel up here, I think, isn't it? I think that's the only, no, this one's a single barrel as well. So these two stand a chance of being 1 and 4, really, to me. But we'll see. We'll find out here in just a minute. Wild cherry rules. Pepsi wild cherry? Is that what you're saying? All right, so let's go. I mean, Buffalo Trace is, but Buffalo Trace is a distillery, right? Buffalo Trace makes Pappy's. They make William LaRue Weller. They make all the Weller products. They make Rock Hill Farms. They make Blanton's. So distillery, like they make all the good stuff. So it's not about that whiskey. It's about that distillery that makes a lot of stuff, right? Yeah, well, yeah, this is barrel proof. This is barrel proof. This is barrel proof. And this is 108 proof. But let's see. Let's see how she wrote these. I'm going to kind of just, okay, she wrote them like this. So A is number one. So I'm gonna try to cover it up and see if I can start at the bottom with D. D, the last one on my list, is exactly what Cheese said, is the Redline. So this is not a bad whiskey. It just had a little flavor that's not as pleasant as the other ones to me. Okay. So all of these are good. Don't take this as coming in last. Like this is coming in last in a pretty good list of whiskeys. But this is the last one. So Cheech got it right. Cheech is right on spot on. And I said, like this one and this one have a chance being first and last, right? So C. C is a bit surprising. Now, I said C and B were interchangeable, right? I think these are pretty close to each other, and I would have a hard time telling them apart. But C is the Penelope. So our winner, and this one, our winner is actually the Old Scout store pick. And the Belle Meade and the Penelope are interchangeable in the middle, which means I was right when I said these being store picks or single barrels actually have the chance to be the most different, right? And this one was the most different, but I didn't love what it offered. This one was the most different, but I actually like what it added to that whiskey. So these two here are actually pretty interchangeable. And I really like this whiskey. And I didn't even know, like I had never tried this Belle Meade Reserve until they canceled it. And then I was like, well, I need to go look for it. So I went to the store and they had it. So when I went for the Full Proof and the Russell's 13 drop. They had two of these and I bought them. Like it was just something I'd never had. So and this is actually a really good whiskey because this is a good whiskey. This one's good, just not quite to this level, but pretty close. So no knock on Redline, but realistically, this one, what's Redline's price? Somebody Google Redline's price right here. This probably is $100 and something. Probably, if I had to guess, their honey stuff was $100 and something. This one right here, like what was Belle Meade Reserve? Like this was actually pretty cheap, I think, comparatively. This right here is what, a $70, $80 bottle, something like that. Like somebody look up the prices on those. I mean, I know that's a store pick, but I want to say this is the most expensive bottle up here. Is Old Elk MGP. You bet your mortgage, Trace. Hopefully you bet it to me. So just go ahead and send me that mortgage if you would. I appreciate it. I don't know if Old Elk is MGP. Like the Old Elk I have here is they're wheated. Now that may be different, right? So they're wheated may be different. I don't know. Does it say where it's distilled? I got to get a little bit of a light here, so I'm probably going to burn the camera with this flashlight here. This is aged 5 years. It is bottled. It is distilled in Indiana. So yeah, more than likely, it is MGP. Yeah. So matter of fact, we're going to pour a little of this here. I'm going to get rid of these guys. We need to just blend them all now, don't we? Blend them all. Blend the world. We're going to start doing some of our own blends and have some fun with it. I was doing that the other night when I was watching live streams. It was a lot of fun. Huge fan of Old Scout picks. A buddy of mine that used to come to the bourbon drops here in Auburn, Opelika, hooked me up with that one. And I sat on it for like a year or two before I even opened it. The wheated is the 5145 MGP wheat mash. We're going to try it after we do this. Honestly, just pouring all these together is pretty good. It's not great. I feel like that That Redline brings it down just a notch versus just having this. 105 in PA. Bell is 60-ish. Penelope is 80. Yeah. So what's the Old Scout? Anybody get a price on the Old Scout? Did I miss that? Did we scroll past that? So let me know what that Old Scout is. So we're talking about like the best one out of that bunch, which again, store pick makes it different. You know, and sometimes they'll charge a premium on these store picks. So normal Old Scout may not hold up to this store pick. But this was the most expensive by far and was just a little off. So, but that shows the value of that Bell Meade Reserve and what kind of a deal that bottle was. Like, that's what folks are talking about when they say a really good whiskey that's undervalued that people don't know about, right? $60, and it's holding up against $180 craft distillery or small special label release bourbon. And it sucks that it took them canceling it for me to even find out it existed. Maybe if we all knew about it and we were buying it, they would freaking continue to release it. Don't know. Old Scout picks are $60 to $80. Lord have mercy. If that's $60 to $80, I'm going to go buy every one I can find. Somebody find me some Old Scout picks, please. $40? Nice. Getting a better deal than me? Okay. So maybe not. Alex is getting them for $40. No, hey, not. Virginia Black is the tops of our list. So my son was supposed to pick up some Virginia Black. They don't sell it here, but they have it where he's at. He's coming up tomorrow, and we're filming some videos. So he's supposed to bring Virginia Black, which is Drake's whiskey, which I do find funny. Like, that's going to be the video, right? And we may go live tomorrow. I may go live and actually just kind of show. Again, long term, it's going to be patrons only once we get up to like 20 or so patrons. The live stream of us filming is going to be patron only. But for now, I may go live in the morning. So we're going to be drinking in the morning, obviously, because he's supposed to be here by like 10 o'clock Central, and we're going to be filming. Now, we may have to go buy some supplies. So I don't know. But we're going to be filming tomorrow morning. And Virginia Black is on the docket if he did go pick it up and brings it. Ray J, what's going on from South Carolina? I'm going to be in South Carolina on Friday. I'm looking forward to the trip. Looks like I just got texted I may have to go to North Carolina while we're at it. That back alley deal, Brandon says. Please go live on the road trip. Ooh, okay, we'll see. We'll see, Alex. That may be like a TikTok thing. Like, you know, going live on YouTube may be a little harder. So make sure you follow it on TikTok. We might. The problem with that is if you're streaming and driving, TikTok won't, they'll shut you down. So may not. Halfway there to 20. All right. Once I figure out this patron thing, you'll get a new subscriber. Okay. Figure it out, man. We need all the money we can get so that I can do irresponsible things like try to lobby the government to allow me to carry barrels in trunks of Lincolns. We're at, I don't know. I think the guy that's going with me has a buddy that he's a traveling nurse. He just took a job as a traveling nurse. He's literally living in a camper in North Carolina somewhere. I think he may want to go see him. I'm getting text messages left and right while we're on this live, and I haven't been able to really dig into them or reply. So don't know where at in North Carolina. Where are you at, Alex? Let me know. What do we have in this? Oh, this was the Hancock Reserve we were drinking earlier. Yeah. I've got this bottle of Hancock Reserve. I've been trying to focus on bottles that need to be finished. I don't know if y'all do this, but once they get kind of low, you know, somewhere in here, I just try to like enjoy them until they're gone, right? It's just like, we just go ahead and have their funeral and we enjoy them until they're finished. So I polished off my Russell's. It was the 10-year, I think, right? I've got the single barrel over there. So the Russell's 10, I polished it off over a couple of days. And then I've been kind of watching live streams on YouTube and enjoying this guy for a day or so. And he's getting pretty close to the bottom there. I think it's good money. I think that's why he took it. By the Beach, Jacksonville, North Carolina. I don't know where we're going, man. Just send me a DM. Of course, you can't send DMs on freaking YouTube. Jump into the Discord. send me a DM. And if we're going to Jacksonville, maybe we can meet up. I don't know where we're going yet, but send me a message or I'll forget who I was talking to 2 hours from now when we end this live stream. Just over the Mississippi line. We were actually going to head to Houston to get a Lincoln, but it just didn't work out. It wasn't good enough. It didn't make the cut. I'm very selective when it comes to my Lincoln Continentals. Leave no whiskey well, you got to finish once they get that low. First of all, I need the shelf space. I only have room for about 300-ish bottles, and we're pushing 250 at this point, I think. So, gotta get rid of them. No, I love Southern Spirits. If we go to North Carolina, I'll hit them up because I know I've been there. I went there. We were supposed to film some content. I literally went an hour out of my way. I was road tripping to Boston. I went an hour out of my way, and the dude there ended up having to leave in a hurry. So I just showed up and was awkwardly asking for him, and he wasn't there. But I do like those folks. I like them on TikTok. I wasn't planning on making it up there because I was just going to road trip to South Carolina and back because that's a 10-hour drive. And then I've got to buy a car and return a U-Haul. So we're probably talking about a 12-plus hour drive. So I'm not 100% sure because this dude is texting me that's going with me. He ain't thought it through at all. And he's going to be like, how about we just go, another 4 hours to the other side of North Carolina somewhere or something. Like he could be doing that too. So Screwball. Oh, no. Fry. Hey, Fry, you are not putting that on me. Fry's not putting that on me. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. No. That is just all sugar and peanut butter. Like, that's god awful. Have I tried Elvis? Like, Elvis been dead for a minute. I'm gonna be honest. Elvis has been dead for a minute. When did he die? What year was that? 1970 what? By the way, love the Elvis movie. If you haven't seen the Elvis movie, jump on that shit. But like why are we putting out whiskey with Elvis's name? Elvis didn't try it. Elvis didn't sanction this whiskey. So I'm a little iffy on those. I buying celebrity whiskey right now just because it's so fun, right? So Conor McGregor puts out a whiskey, that's just fun to poke at. Or if it's good, it's good. Like, that's great. We're going to try Drake's whiskey. Like, what am I going to say if Elvis's whiskey's bad? What am I going to say if Elvis's whiskey's good? I don't really know. So I'm a little iffy on the celebrity been dead for a while, buy their whiskey. Now, I do have Jack Daniel's Sinatra Select, but at least I know Jack Daniel's made the whiskey that Frank Sinatra drank. So at least they have some expertise around it. Like, I get that's a cash grab right now, but at least that's kind of interesting. Drinking some Old Forester 1910. Michael, that is an exceptional pour. Enjoy that one. Tried mixing Jack Daniel's honey into coffee, and it definitely made the coffee sweeter. It's basically condensed honey. Okay, so Mortem, I get what you're saying. Like, if you want a little alcohol in your coffee, that's probably a good way. But it's not condensed honey. Like, honey is more condensed than Jack Daniel's honey would be because it's got alcohol and water in it. So I'm not following you on the condensed word. So I'm not sure that's exactly what you mean. But yes, it's going to make it a lot sweeter. Bourbon cream or something like that is really delicious in coffee if you get your hands on one of those. 1977, Elvis passed away. There you go. So before I was born, Elvis died. And now we're producing whiskey with his name on it. Is it legal to send liquor through the mail? Sometime soon, I want to see about sending a bottle in from a local distillery. Inactive, technically, maybe no. Like, you there are legal ways of sending it, right? So, like, I don't think here's the thing. If you send something through UPS doesn't make laws, right? UPS has guidelines for their business. And so you're not breaking a law by sending it through the mail that way. What gets you is like the taxes on the whiskey, not the actual mailing of it. So the fact that it crosses a state line is kind of a risky deal. With that being said, I never mail whiskey ever. And that is the box. I moved it over here. There's a box over here that definitely doesn't have a bottle of whiskey in it that I'm mailing to somebody because I'd never mail whiskey. But I know a lot of people, you can't admit things on live streams. I know a lot of people that mail whiskey just fine without any consequences. If you're doing it in mass, you're liable to get in trouble, right? Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. If you're trying to mail one bottle of whiskey, make sure you wrap it up good so it doesn't get broken. You'll be fine. Hey, Fry, appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. 77. Ooh, we dropped down to 67. Stop by Kentucky on the way back. Well, Kentucky's not like basically South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama is kind of how I would go there. Cheat says the Elvis whiskey is pretty good. Well, there you go. What do I know? Elvis's ghost is really good at picking whiskey. It's $50, so the Elvis whiskey is only $50. That's not too bad. Like, I understand how you hold off if you're on a budget, but like we buy so much crap here for videos. $50 for like to create a video for $50. Like, I could do that. Like, that's we spend more than that on the editing of each video, so not too bad. Don't drink, but enjoy the content. Well, Massive Pony fan, don't let me be a bad influence. If you don't drink, that is a good thing. We consider that a good thing. Good for you. You're going to live a lot longer than us. So please hang out, enjoy these live streams, enjoy the videos. And after we're all dead from alcoholism, you can tell the tales of the fun and stupid things we did here on this channel. So thank you for hanging out. Jack Daniel's honey is a good, Jack Daniel's honey. I prefer Wild Turkey American honey. I just like the flavors of that a little better, but yeah, a great mixer. Jack Daniel's honey is good stuff too. Yeah. USPS is government run. They have laws, right? Although, they have laws. Although I do have some folks sending some bottles to the P.O. box because I don't want to like give them my address, but they're legal to send them. So use UPS, something like that, right? Yeah. The government sets laws. Private companies don't really have laws. The problem you're going to get into is not the mailing of the whiskey. It's going to be the taxes between, the different states. Because if somebody drinks whiskey in Alabama, Alabama wants their taxes on it. It's just one of those weird things. I imagine it's usually more enforced in cases of overwhelming. Yeah, everything is more enforced in cases of overwhelming amounts. Like, it's not worth the government to crack down on one guy that sent one bottle, but some guy that's sending, 10 bottles a day, well, that may be worth a visit. Set some cash aside after the next car show. An Arizona distilled whiskey. Nice. Let me know what it is. I'm actually in Vegas. I might be able to pick it up. I'm in Vegas for SEMA in November. If Elvis tells you how good it is, he's going to be like, it's all right, mama. It's all right. In Dallas, any good bourbons from around here? Well, I mean, a lot of folks ask me about, Garrison Brothers, TX, Still Austin. I don't know about Dallas in particular, but Texas whiskey is kind of a popular thing nowadays. Now, it's super intense. So if you're not really into whiskey, Texas whiskey is over the top. Like, it's just super hot. So that whiskey gets a lot of flavor really quickly. Substances and alcohol has been so refined. Yeah, bourbon is really fun the last 3 or 4 years. A lot of folks that have been around forever and could get anything they wanted whenever they wanted, they complain about it. But realistically, it's a lot of fun when a lot more people are into it, because distilleries, you get people like this that are buying whiskeys and doing cool things and, experimenting. And then everybody starts making more whiskey. Like, it's more fun when there's a bunch of people into it, other than the fact that I can't go to the store now and buy a bottle of Pappy's. But honestly, when nobody wanted Pappy's, I didn't know what the heck it was, and I didn't buy it anyway. I was probably drinking Bud Light at the time. Paul's in Dallas as well. A lot of folks in Dallas. Nice. Dallas is a cool city. I haven't spent a lot of time there. I get to Austin a lot. That's about the only place I spend a lot of time in Texas is in Austin. Just work stuff, right? Woodinville whiskey makes a cask strength bourbon that you can only get from the distillery. Hey, pick up a bottle and not send it to the P.O. box. It's definitely not my day. Don't mail it to me. Like, tie it to a pigeon and have them fly it to me. Balcones is in Waco. Okay. There's, another Texas whiskey, right? Which is super intense. So if you're not really into whiskey, probably not best to start with Texas whiskey. But like, once you're super into it, Texas is a kind of a fun thing. Copper Still in Lake Havasu. I want to say I've heard of this. I don't think I've tried it though. About 2.5. I'm not going to the distillery. I'm just wondering, like, I'm thinking about taking the Lincoln if we buy the Lincoln and driving to Vegas. I'm taking my kids. We're going to go to Vegas. I might take 3 days, maybe 4 days, and just drive to Vegas. Love the Texas funk. It had to grow on me. I wasn't a huge fan of it to start with. It had to grow on me. But first time I had Garrison Brothers, so I bought a bottle of Garrison Brothers and I tried it and I was like, oh my God, this is over the top. I can't do this. This is not good. And I set it on my shelf and it probably sat there a year. No joke. Probably sat there a year. And then my brother-in-law came over and he was trying a few different whiskeys. I was like, try this crap. This is over the top. So I pulled it down and I gave it to him. He's like, that's pretty good. And I'm like, what? And I poured myself one and I was like, you're right. Like, this is kind of interesting. And I don't know if it just mellowed after the neck pour, or I think at that point it had been a year and I'd just really grown in my bourbon journey. And I was like, this is kind of interesting. Me and him sat there and drank the whole freaking bottle that night, like what was left. And it was like, we overdid it that night on some Garrison Brothers, but I keep it. I've got small batch and single barrel up there now. If you haven't had Gullytown Double Barrel in the Kansas City area, nice. I'm going to Branson. I'm wondering if I pick it up. My wife just told me. I need to look at that. I need to look at the Branson. I want to say it might be March. I can't. Oh, she's going to be mad at me if I go to Cheech's thing instead. I need to look at when she's doing the Branson thing because this is getting out of hand with the March stuff. So it's I've got some friends up in Kansas City. I could probably get one of those. It sounds interesting. Lone Elm, Texas wheat. Nice. I like a wheated whiskey, so I'm going to have to look that one up. Drunk pigeons, Alex. That's why we just sent them on drunk pigeons. It's the pigeon's fault. We tied it to a pigeon. We don't know where they're going. I've had some Woodville. It's been a while, but it was pretty good. I'm very trepidatious. That's a $10 word. To try Pappy's at any point. See the price tag, and most of the reviews I've seen it said it's hardly worth. Well, I mean, no bourbon is worth $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000. Yeah. The P.O. box is not mine. It's also here in our About Us here, and it's also not in our bio here on YouTube, and not in our bio in TikTok. What's a must-try bottle that's not hard to find list? Like I said, okay, so if you're just getting into whiskey, what I say is you really need to try a Buffalo Trace, which is not super easy, but you find it. You need to try an Eagle Rare. You need to try an Elijah Craig small batch. You need to try an Evan Williams bottle and bond. You need to try an Early Times bottle and bond, which is getting harder to find. You need to try Wild Turkey 101. You need to try Wild Turkey Rare Breed, which is a higher proof. And you need to try an Old Granddad 114. So none of those bottles is like over $50 typically. And lots of them are like $20-ish range, $20 to $30 at most. So any of those, but what you want to do is try a bunch of different stuff and see what you like. Like what you come back to me with some of those you like, and then we could start exploring different things, right? Going to Branson next week. I've never been to Branson. My wife's like, hey, they've got this trip they call the Family trip, right? So it's friends and family. And they go somewhere every year. Lots of times I miss it because I'm working or I got to be somewhere else. I miss it. She's like, you're going to go on the family trip. I was like, well, where are y'all going? She's like, Branson. I was like, well, that sounds pretty fun. Can we take the Lincoln? And she's like, no, we're not taking the Lincoln. And I'm like, then I'm probably not going. So we're negotiating right now on whether or not I'm going. Specs has a Balcones single malt pick. I can't do it, Rob. Single malts are not my thing, man. I feel like I just waste money on it. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't like it. I know this isn't a beer channel, dude. I drink a lot of beer though. But along the Bragg Dam in the Ozarks, there's a place that has 32 Ozark brewed beers. Nice. I drink a lot of beer. I just don't stream or create a lot of content around it. Benchmark Foolproof's great. Yes. Yeah. Again, if you like Buffalo Trace, if you can't get Buffalo Trace, get an Ancient Age, get a Benchmark. I like the Benchmark Bonded a lot, but it's got some flavors in there that somebody might not like. So I get that. Greenville by Royal Oaks. This Old Elk Wheated is good. There's something in there I don't like about it though that keeps it from being exceptional. So it's got some of the sweetness I'm looking for. I need to find a way of describing that flavor though, because it's kind of similar to what this Redline had. Not as overwhelming. It's not as kind of sharp as that, but it's got some kind of flavor in there that that keeps me from loving it. Now, again, I think this is no, this is not a pick. Somebody brought a pick over that was better than this one. It's good, but there's something there that keeps it from being great. Kyle, I'm not going, we don't take the Lincoln. Like, it's that simple. Michter's, Elijah Craig, or Dailies. Those are great dailies. I love Michter's products. Like, if Michter's would just sponsor this live stream, that's all we'd talk about. We'd just be the Michter stream and everybody would hate it. Just out of curiosity, how long does it take to gather such a whiskey collection? So we used to do some bourbon and stuff for work. That's kind of what started my collection, right? We would do we started with beer, and we would just sit down and have a beer, and we would have a live stream about work stuff. And so I switched it to whiskey, where we're talking about whiskey. And so I ended up with probably 10 or 20 bottles, because every week I would want to have a different bottle for the live stream, but we would only drink it during the live stream. And then I'd end up with 10 or 20 bottles there. And then, so COVID hit. And at that point, by COVID, I might've had 30 plus bottles, and then COVID hit. And so all travel ceased. We started thinking about doing some of this content and building out a bar. And so actually probably a little bit before COVID, because I'm thinking about the bar I had before. I probably had 50 or 60 bottles. So I'd started kind of collecting a little bit when we shut down the office and I moved to the house, which was pre-COVID. And then so 50 or 60 bottles, and then COVID hit, and it's just like, you got a little extra money. There's not a whole lot to do. And so I just started getting super deep into bourbon. Like, I was already kind of into it. I was enjoying it. I had a nice collection, but we started just getting nuts during COVID. And then 2021, we started posting videos and creating content kind of sporadically on TikTok. And that's where I took it from, say, like 100 to 200 and something. The first bottle that started my journey, like, what was that bottle? I had a lot of people send me bottles. So a lot of like, when I say I had 50 or 60, out of those 20 or 30 were just mailed to me. Or not mailed to me, because that's not a thing you do. They may have been given to me at conferences. Probably High West Distillery Barai. Like, that's one of the first ones I'm like, okay, I really like this. I need to start investigating it a little more. Tried the regular benchmark, but felt, you got to step up. You got to step the proof up. Like, you're talking about benchmark 8. That's a different jam, Rusty. That's a different jam. Go with the full proof. Go with the bonded. Like, you're talking about the watered down version. Yeah, the only reason would be not gasoline. But the thing is I don't really want to go to Branson. I want to just stay and work and hang out with y'all. So, if you want to get me there, just spend 10 miles to the gallon, I'll go. That Redline honey, the Redline honey's pretty good. Now, I had somebody DM me, is like, I hate that bottle. Why do you like that bottle? I was like, maybe yours is different. Now, in fairness, Redline sent me the bottle. They did not pay for the sponsorship. I did not say I would do a video. They're just like, we want to send you some bottles, see what you think. I was like, okay. I've been sitting on them like 3 months. I've had that bottle for like 3 months. We've done nothing with it. I was like, and so somebody sent me a honey finished, or I got a honey finished whiskey that somebody locally did. And it was okay. It was a little too honey for me. So I was like, well, that could make an interesting video. So let me just pull this Redline out and give it a try. Like, I think we had popped it and somebody had tried it, but I hadn't even tried it. So I was like, well, let's just try it and see what it's like, because it's a big barrel, right? It's different than people doing the small barrel stuff. And that was an honest review of it. I thought it was really, really good. Now, they're single barrels, so it could vary greatly. Me being a content creator, maybe they pick the best barrel they have. Like, I have no freaking clue. I don't know. But all I can tell you is the one I have, I really like. All right, my bullet, orange label or green label, I don't even know. I think the only bullets I've had are like the single barrel stuff. So I don't think either they were orange or green. Try the Old Elk double wheat and the 4 grain. Also the cognac finished OE. I'll have to keep an eye out for those, Paul. I've not figured in a bar for my Alaska plans. Yeah, there you go. 20 to 50 square feet. I don't know what my bar is here. This was closets. So when we bought this house, this was a series of closets. And there's a whole atrium behind us, but I tore out all these closets. And so this guy here, I think from wall to wall is 13 feet-ish. I left a couple of feet over there to squeeze by the bar. And then I want to say there's like, I think we did a foot and a half, maybe 20 inches here, 2 full feet there, and 4 in between. So I want to say this is about 8 feet. So I guess that would make it about 100 and something. So if it's 8 by 13, that'd make it 104 square feet. And then we're adding another, 30 something square feet over there for a fridge and stuff. I know UPS doesn't ship to PO boxes. They do. They will. I think so. Or maybe they don't. It'd have to be USPS. Send me a DM. Like, if I know you're not weird, I might give you my address. Just don't dox me, because I don't need people coming over wanting to drink my stuff. Nobody's going to harm me. SoCal, Todd Weber in the chat. Thank you, Todd, for showing up and hanging out. Heaven Hill Bottle in Bond. That's a good one. I haven't drank that one. I just got a bottle. My bottle was... Actually, you know what? No, I've had that bottle. I'm thinking about the McKenna 10. So that bottle's sitting over there. It's been a while since I've had it, though. Good stuff. I've tried some Stranahan's. I didn't love it, but I'm not a single malt guy. 70 Nova. Love a 70 Nova. I'd love to have one. Straight 6. Still on it. How do you get 8 to 10 miles per gallon in a 70 Nova? Thanks, Cheech, for cleaning up the trash there. Any sites recommended to purchase some bottles? We're working on, I'm not going to recommend them till they come through on the sponsorship, because I've been waiting on paperwork for like a month. And honestly, I'm about ready to move on, because they keep saying they're going to send it. And I haven't seen the paperwork on the sponsorship. So Seal Box, if you're going to buy like craft stuff, like some of this stuff here, you could probably go to Seal Box. I think that somebody post a link to Seal Box if you've got it. But there, other than that, I don't really know. Did comment on the Crown Apple vid for a cocktail you can try. All right, Hunter, I'll check that out. Yeah, Paul's got Sealbot right there. That's how you spell it. Yeah, I don't know much about Bourbon Outfitters, but Sealbox is cool stuff. Send me your Pigeon Andrew. You just got to send me a DM, because I'll forget between now and this being over. Jack, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Be sure to jump in our Discord as well, so you can stay in touch. There's a lot of fun conversations going on. I'm trying to get that more active. We've got a few people over there pretty active, but I'd love to make that a little more of a bourbon exchange where we can talk about stuff and have a good time. I don't drink a lot of moonshine. My buddy had a still I borrowed for a couple of years, and I made a lot of it, but it was all really bad. Like, it was all turbo yeast, like not great moonshine stuff. I'm talking to him about trying to do some on our own little bourbon runs and just have a good time. Again, we can't talk about those things because legalities and stuff. So we may not do it, but we're dreaming about it. I could put it in a 5-gallon barrel and I could ride around in the back of a Lincoln. It had 4,000 miles on it, 400,000 miles on it, and was running on miracles. That 6-cylinder, man, that 6-banger was killing it. Worked too many hours to dox you. It's all good. I'm not that hard to find if somebody needs to find me. Crown and Sprite. So I did try the Crown Apple and the Crown Peach. We drank all the Crown Peach. Like that stuff went. We had some folks over and they tore that up. Crown Apple, Crown Peach with Mountain Dew. Like, it's hard to beat that. Now, I haven't tried it with Sprite. I did try it. I have some Sprite upstairs. I need to try it. Hey, Jill. I heard Jill come back. Let me see if I can. Hey, Jill. Jill. My kids are finding her. She may be letting the dogs out. I may get her to bring the Crown Apple and Sprite. We'll just try it right here, right now. But it and Mountain Dew, hard to beat. Like, that's pretty dang good. Like, I'm a bourbon guy, but it, like, just a light, something easy to drink, watching a football game, that's pretty good stuff. Never tried Clearwater out of Utah, Carnivore. Sorry. Haven't heard of them. Is it pretty good? Like, is that something I need to keep an eye out for? Let me know. 2T, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Bought some moonshine from the ABC store, which I felt wasn't right. So, like, there's good moonshine, there's bad moonshine. So we were making, like, Turbo Yeast makes bad moonshine really fast. Now it come out super high proof, and I still have some around here somewhere. The only thing I found that it's good for is we had some metal handrails made, and I was painting them outside, and I needed like some rubbing alcohol. I didn't have any, so I ended up using the moonshine to rub down the handrails and clean them up before I painted them. That's what I ended up using for. Crown and ginger ale or Crown and 7-Up. Sprite works, but 7-Up is better. I don't have any 7-Up. Been a long time since I've drank 7-Up. Yeah, you got to find it in the store. And we've got the still to make some really good stuff, but we were just goofing off. The old Smoky isn't real stuff. It's good to know. Copper Still in Havasu City makes a cherry moonshine that is 100 proof and tastes like straight up. That sounds delicious. Inactive. Jameson and Baja Blast. That is weird. I believe you, but that's weird. The Lincoln Liquid, a Brewzle special release. Frank, we're trying to. It's just illegal. So I've been talking to Jill, like, if we do a fundraise to buy an entire barrel, because like we're talking, I know some of y'all wouldn't hear, but I'm talking to the local distiller. He's doing a run of bourbon. It's a wheated bourbon. It's all like heirloom corn, heirloom grains, locally grown, but it's going to be a bottle and bond. So we're thinking about getting like 100 people to go in together and buy a barrel. And, but you could come taste it every year. We could do some special things, but it's going to take 4 years before it's ready. So I was thinking about, could we get a group together and buy a barrel, but like a little extra on what the barrel costs. Then we'll buy a Lincoln Continental and we'll put the barrel in there, and I'll have a separate Lincoln. We just puddle around locally, and I don't go anywhere that's going to, if I cross state lines, I'm going to go to jail. So we're going to, we were thinking of fun. We're just trying to be silly and do some fun stuff that nobody else is doing. But, the law just keeps getting in the damn way. What's wrong with them? What's an ABC store? So really there's two answers to that, Jack. Here in Alabama, basically it's like beverage control, right? So the state has their own beverage control and they're called ABC. I think it's Alabama Beverage Control here, but like other states that are not Alabama, I think it's alcohol beverage control actually, maybe. So alcohol beverage control, state run. But also in some, hey, could you bring me the Crown Apple and a Sprite, please? Thank you. What are you going to Brooks for? Everything okay? All right, cool. In other states, ABC is actually a chain of stores. So there's also a chain of stores called ABC, but they're not here, right? Here in states like Virginia, places where the state runs it, it's just alcohol beverage control. Smokey's in. Smokey's in. Take his money. We need to set up a GoFundMe or something for this. We're going to work on it. I don't know if it'll be a Weller Antique 107, right? My favorites are Weeders, but you have no idea what it's going to turn out like. Like, that's what's fun about it. It's an experiment and an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. It may turn out great. It may be terrible. We just don't know. Dr. Jameson is my primary physician. So a little bitty Sprite and a little bitty Crown Apple here, and I am all out of clean glasses. We got our water glass here. That'll do. Hey, Jill. Oh, she's gone, Mr. Salty. Sorry. One more cast is in American Baptist Church. All right, so let's give this a little shot here. How much Crown Apple am I supposed to put in this? Everyone can sell alcohol in South Dakota, man. Here, Alabama, like, they let other people sell it, but it's not an easy thing. Like, you basically have to buy it you have to buy it from the state. So, like, for instance, technically, if we're going to buy a barrel from the local distillery, so the local distillery decides they're going to sell me a barrel. And the only reason I'm not already trying to run money, figure out the funds and run a campaign to get the money is he has to figure out the legality behind it, because technically he has to sell that barrel to the state and the state has to sell that barrel to me. So it's just a whole shitty process. Better patent the idea or Whistle Pig's going to get you. Have they got a Roadstock rye, or is it Is that, are you being serious? Did I have a Roadstock rye, or is that, because that's pretty funny. I like it. I might do that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Needs ice. It needs ice in it. I'm not going to go get ice right now because I'm having a good time hanging out with y'all. But with some ice, that's just apple juice. Like, that's just apple juice with alcohol in it. Like, that's all that is. A little ice and a little more apple juice. Like, Lord, because the Sprite just disappears. Like, that just goes to nothing. And it's just apple juice. Did mini bottles? That's the problem, Rusty, is where, and I'm going to get the old fashioned. So my old fashions here, Jill loves this. This is her favorite. I like a Michter's, but Michter's is kind of pricey. So for a good cheap mixer, you can't get it everywhere, but I can usually find it pretty good. Ancient age. Just make sure it says ancient twice and 10 stars on it. Normal ancient age, no bueno. But ancient age, 10 stars. The bottle we use the most. It's like $25, $23 for this big old plastic bottle here when you can find it. What was the peach bourbon you said was a surprise? I mean, the only peach thing I've tried is a Crown Peach. Wasn't a, oh, no. I know what you're talking about. Never mind. Sorry. It's not a peach bourbon, right? So this is not a flavored bourbon. This is probably the biggest surprise bottle I've ever had. I've had several from Barrel Bourbon Company, and I didn't like any of them. They were all super oaky and bitter and not great. Somebody gave me this bottle at a conference. Somebody for work gave me this, and it's called Grandma's Peach Pie. That's just what they named the pick. It's kind of like, you get to name it anything you want, but it has just kind of an interesting peach pie flavor to it. Like, it's got a very peachy kind of flavor, but it's not finished, I don't think. Let me see. It might be, but where'd I put my phone? Oh, I set the ancient age on my phone. Let me try to read the deets here. A blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, 40% 5-year, 30% 10-year, 20% 14-year, and 10% 16-year. It is BX1A blend number, 2,030 bottles they made, 114 proof, private release by Total Wine and More. And it's called Grandma's Peach Pie. So, like, Barrel got smart and they finally gave me a name. Rather than calling it BX10, so I can't tell anybody what it is, it's called Grandma's Peach Pie. So, really good bottle. If you ever find one of these, this is freaking exceptional to my flavor profile. In Oregon, it's the same way. You must buy from the state. Frequently in Phoenix City. Nice. What are you doing in Phoenix City? I'm just right down the road, about 30 minutes. Yeah, well, the state is the controller. Like, this is one of those kind of conservative states, right? So they control all the vices, right? So, we got to control. You can't have a lottery. And, if you're going to buy alcohol, you got to buy it from them so they can pave roads with it. They do have a Roadstock rye. That's funny. I've had the bottle in barn. That's pretty funny. Half regular Crown, half flavored Crown. So you just kind of water it down a little. Alex, let's get the tub. Let's try the tub. Give me the tub. So in the glass, we are just pouring a little Crown Royal Apple and Sprite, which was recommended. But we're going to get the old tub. Give me just a second. I put the old tub in storage. So old tub was in storage back there. All right, so we're running some experiments. We're going to be doing some experiments for videos. We've got some really fun things planned. Like, I can't spoil it right now, but we've got some fun things planned. And this is kind of one of those just starting off. So what we did is we took a bottle of Old Tub and we distilled all the whiskey out of it. So Old Tub is, what is this? 100 proof, bottle and bond. So it's 100 proof. We distilled this much whiskey out of it, and it came out like 160 proof, I think. So this is 160 proof whiskey out of Old Tub. Clear white, right? A little like vodka, because we distilled all of the stuff out of it. But then it wasn't particularly good. And we ran an experiment where we threw an oak stave. I don't know if y'all can see that. It just kind of looks like a turd floating in there, but it's got like this oak spiral on the inside of it that is aging. Now, I would not recommend drinking this straight up because it is 160 proof. So we're going to take it and we're going to pour a little bit of it. And we're going to put just a little water in there, or maybe a lot of water in there. A little distilled water, just to cut that proof maybe in half or so. But my theory, here's the thing. Oak spirals like this, little barrels like I've got over there, they don't make good whiskey. They don't help. Like, the cool things that happen to whiskey happen in big barrels over time. And these things that rapidly age, all they're adding is oak bitterness. They're not adding anything that I want. Oak bitterness is not something that I seek out in a whiskey. And so this is just ruining it to me, I think. But like, let's run the experiment. Like, who knows? Things happen sometimes in different ways than I expect them to, right? So it's worth trying. You know, I distilled all of this old tub out and I was like, would this be better than old tub? If we made 160 proof, or, you know, if we watered it down, I was going to water it down to maybe 110 proof old tub. Would that make it better? And it just smells like, I don't know, it smells like oak and maybe a little bacon, you know, like a maple bacon. And it's just a sweet, it's got the sweetness of the, you know, whiskey we distilled out. And it's got this kind of, you know, flat bacony flavor to it. And it's just not particularly pleasant. Like, it's that we definitely did not improve Old Tub. Like, this is not better than Old Tub in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Is this better? This crap, this monstrosity that we've made, is this better than Old Tub? So I'm trying to find a way. I'm trying to find a way to improve a bottle. So, like, for instance, I'll give you one example of an experiment we're trying to run. Matt, ADHD Whiskey, posted a review the other day, or maybe yesterday. Hell, it may have been today, where he hated on Calumet 8-year. Like, he hated it. So what I want to do, now they're kind of pricey, so I need to budget for this, but I want to go buy a few bottles of Calumet 8-year, and I want to run an experiment, and I want to send him a sample. I want to do something that improves that whiskey, send it to him. I will put it in the Lincoln and I will drive it to him. I don't even know where Matt lives. Don't really care. I will drive anywhere in the continental United States for this video because I'm that dedicated. And we will take him Calumet 8 in that we've done something to make it better. And it may be distilling it down and increasing the proof. It may be trying to extract the flavor from a bottle. Like, we want to do something fun to make it better, take that bottle to him and get him to do a blind review, not knowing what it is. Our whole goal is just for him to say it's good. Like, that's it. I just want him to say it's good. So we're doing some experiments to try to find ways. So the problem is I want to take like a bottle and I want to improve and I want to increase the proof. So say we want to take like an Eagle Rare that's 80 proof and we want to take it to 100. How would you take an Eagle Rare to 100? Well, you could just add more alcohol. I could distill the alcohol out and pour it into an Eagle Rare. But we've increased the alcohol, but we haven't increased the flavor depth, right? Like, the thing about a higher proof whiskey is not that it's just got more alcohol. It's that it's got more concentrated flavor, so you didn't water it down. So realistically, what you want to be able to do is not distill the alcohol out of it. You want to take the water out of it. Like, that's what you want to do. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take and concentrate a bourbon and then be able to use that to blend back with the bourbon to make it something that's a little better and more special. What I'm trying right now is something called jacking. I don't know if y'all are familiar with jacking. I know the juveniles in the crowd here will enjoy that term. But basically, it's how they make like an apple jack cider. You freeze the water out of something and you remove that, and the alcohol and the flavors are left. but I can't, my freezer won't get an 80 proof whiskey cold enough. So I'm going to buy some dry ice. We're running some experiments to try to pull the flavor out of a whiskey and the alcohol while leaving the water frozen. So we're just playing around and having a good time. And that's kind of what this is, right? It's just the start of us. Like, we're always doing something stupid. Like, that's really what it boils down to. Hydrometer, you talking about to measure the alcohol? Couldn't make it to the bar. And I apologize. I missed a few comments here. I was on a rant. Like, Old Tub's not bad. I don't have a problem with Old Tub. We were just trying to see if we could improve it. Like, I didn't say it's not bad for us to improve. Like, I like Eagle Rare, but can we make it? Can I take something that's like a $30 bottle of whiskey and can I make it a BTAC level whiskey? Like, that's what I want to do. Like, better than BTAC. We were even thinking like a better than Blanton series. Can I take like ancient age, like not ancient age, but ancient age, and make it better than Blanton? So what I want to do is take 2 bottles, take it to a bourbon reviewer, and it's ancient age that we've done something to, and Blanton's, and just get them to pick the ancient age. Calumet Small Batch 15.8 is roughly the same price and really good. Nice. Calumet 8 is good with ginger ale mixed in. Add Pepsi. Hey, Alex, don't doubt me. I will add the Pepsi. Hey, check out ADHD whiskey. He's good. I love Matt. Colorado currently for ADHD. Okay, there you go. He's in Colorado. That's beautiful. Need to go. Look, he's in the freaking chat. Damn it! Now it's all been ruined. It's all been ruined. I try to share with y'all, and the whole damn thing has been ruined. Now it's no good. I can't do it now. The whole idea is gone. I'm just trying to be open. And he's lurking here in the friggin' chat. I didn't even know. It's all good. We'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out how to make that Calumet 8 good. Is the collection channel in Discord for posting our bars? I don't know. I post it. Let's go for it. Like, Discord is a little bit of a free-for-all right now. We're still trying to figure it out. Post your bar. Yeah, let's do that. That'd be fun. I like it. Winmo, that's exactly how it works, isn't it? If you take Calumet 8 and mix it with Heaven Hill 17, that would be fun. Tin Cup. I haven't drank a ton of Tin Cup Inactive. When I had it, it's been years. I thought it was pretty good, but it's not something I drink a lot of. I want to see a blind of Benchmark and Ancient Age with Blanton's to see if they can figure it out. I could. Ancient Age for sure would be a little bit harder. Ancient Age, I'd be able to tell. Benchmark, I'd be able to tell from Blanton's. I think so. I've done some blinds like that, and I've been able to pick it out. Like, we've done some. I just drink enough of that stuff that I kind of know the flavor profiles. It's not that one's, significantly different than the other all the time. I just drink enough of it. But hey, Matt, thanks for joining ADHD. Thanks for joining the stream, man. I appreciate it. Ragged Branch. I'll keep an eye out. I'm going to try to stop and do a little shopping, although I hear pickings are pretty slim in South Carolina, so I might just have to stop in Georgia. $31.98. That's great. He said it was $50, I think, the one he bought. So I'm like, I don't know. So if I need like 3 or 4 bottles for that experiment, that's why I'm trying like not that I hate Old Tub or that Old Tub is particularly cheap. I just had a bottle I didn't care for. Like, it's fine, but I just had it in stock, so we decided to run the experiment on it. I was going to do Eagle Rare, but I like those so much. I just have 3 Eagle Rares. So I ended up giving one away to a patron instead and ran it on the Old Tub. Roadstock Rye. Place barrels of whiskey in a semi. How did they do that? How did they go for, like, I guess they didn't go through Alabama. Like, that sucks. Frank, how can they do it? I can't. Why can't I put it in a Lincoln? Tin Cup. Yeah, I mean, I need to get some Tin Cup. I get a lot of questions about it. Tin Cup 10-year. Hey, anytime they got a 10-year option, pick it up. Rusty, you talking about in Discord? Yeah, I'm seeing my phone going crazy on Discord over there. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. So you post something in Discord, I'll find it eventually. Like most nights, I'll spend like 3 or 4 hours a night just responding to comments and in Discord goofing off. What's your favorite bourbon smoked? I don't know if smoke improves any bourbon that I have, to me. I'm not a smoker, so add smoke to it just doesn't make it a whole lot better to me. I'll smoke an old fashioned every once in a while just for fun, but that's all kind of part of the show. He overpaid. I think he would admit that he overpaid because he hated that bottle. Do I have some tonic? I don't have any. I may have like some, I don't know. There might be some upstairs, but everybody just left. This Crown Apple and Sprite's pretty good though. Todd likes it from Birmingham. Likes it. We're on YouTube. I've been enjoying it on YouTube. Honestly, the YouTube content creators are pretty chill. I'm liking that a lot. I definitely enjoy the live stream experience better over here. We get more newbies coming and going on TikTok. Like everybody's, just like they're there for a few minutes and they're gone. So we get a lot of the same questions, which is fine. Like that's cool. I'm trying to be an ambassador and get more folks into whiskey, which may be good or bad for us to find whiskey. But YouTube is just, a little cooler, a little more chill place to hang out. So I'm enjoying it. And I have the opportunity to really do a full production here, which I geek out about. Like we're going to get some crazy shit. Like we are going to be, I would say the Cadillac of bourbon live streams or whiskey live streams, but realistically it's going to be the Lincoln Continental of whiskey live streams. Like we're going to have multi-camera setups and we're going to have, graphics and all sorts of crazy stuff. I just ordered some base plates so I can put truss work back there and mount all the cameras on it and stuff. So we're going to slowly roll into that. It may take us a few months to get there because I've got to order another camera and I've got to order some monitors and stuff to make all that work so that I can see the chat while that's happening, because y'all going to be like 4 feet back further than you are now. But we're going to get crazy over here on YouTube. But we can't do it on TikTok. They won't give us a stream key. Unless we agree to stream for 15 days a month and for 40 hours, which I just don't have time to do that. So MSRP on Calumet is $50. There you go. So you're getting a deal at 38. You're stealing it. Why don't you buy me 3 or 4 and send them to me? I'll pay you back. I think they've got them here local. I don't know what they cost. I got to go find. I did look online. They do have them here locally. I just don't know what they're charging for them. Eagle Rare's $100 at my local shop. Don't drink it, man. No. Not at $100. You pay $40, $50, fine. It's worth that. It's a good whiskey. Never feel like I overpaid more than when I bought a Johnny Walker Blue at secondary. You probably, I don't know how much you paid for other stuff, but sure. That's fair. Had a smoky old fashioned at Outback Steakhouse that was fantastic. A smoky old fashioned can be really good. It can be. Now it's part of like, I'll get out the smoker kit. Like, what if we smoked this, right? So it's fun, right? It's just a fun thing, and it can add flavor. So, what is Crown and Sprite smoked in? I've just got oak. I've got other ones. I just grabbed the oak. What does that taste like, right? But when you have folks over that are not like super into things and they're a little iffy and you're just putting on a show, right? You're telling them a story. You're talking about Jefferson's Ocean and putting it on, vessels and sending it out to sea and, freaking somebody putting it in a semi and driving it to Vermont and doing stuff. And you're making an old fashioned and you do some crap like this, or you break out the ice press, which is down there, and you have it melt down an ice ball and you do all this fun stuff. It's just show, right? And as long as it doesn't take away from the flavor, it's fine. Like it's much smarter to have an ice ball mold like this that just makes a round ice ball than to have to make a big square ice ball or ice square cube, store it, and then put it in that stupid press and press it down into an ice ball. But you get this cool thing. And if it doesn't take away, then it's adding to it because it's fun. Now, do you like the flavors? That's with an old fashioned, I have to let it dissipate. Like it's a little too oaky to start with. But if I let it sit there and I let that ice ball melt into an old fashioned for a little while and I let that smoke dissipate and you just give it a few minutes, it's really good stuff. The Grand National of live streams. I need a Grand National. I really do. I do. I found one. That was pretty close to the budget, like maybe negotiating into the budget, but it didn't have T-tops and it doesn't fit the bill for what I want for the content and the road trips. Roadstock, they drove to Jordan Winery, dumped half the whiskey in Bordeaux wine barrels, and went to Firestone Walker and put the other half there in blonde barrels. They drove back to Vermont. Well, that seems to ruin it a little bit, but that's still pretty cool. Gamtang, Will in the chat. What's going on, Will? You ever try moonshine barrel aged? I have not. Should I? Is this a thing I should be looking for? Maybe I could just not get caught. I'm not lucky. That's what y'all will find out. If y'all hang out with me long enough, you'll find out I'm not lucky. Like, just, I've got quite a few bottles from like a lottery, but I didn't win the lottery. A friend that doesn't care anything about bourbon won the lotteries and just said, I'll buy anything you want and you just buy it back from me. I was like, okay. Like, that's how I win stuff. I never win anything. And so when it comes to like doing things that are sketchy, I'm going to get caught. Like, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to get caught. Johnny Green is better than blue. I feel like I'm going to buy a blue. I'm really looking for this sponsor to come through so they can send me a blue and then I can just review it and shit on it. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be great, but y'all tell me, is it going to be great? Cause y'all don't seem to like it. What does the Glencairn do for bourbon when you're drinking out of it? Okay. So you've got a lot of different bourbon glasses, right? Whiskey glasses. This is a New Orleans. This is the Glencairn. I got, an aged Denor glass over there as well, which I like as well. This is my favorite though. So when you're, when you're drinking whiskey, first of all, I like that it's got a nub on bottom so I can hold my pinky out. So I feel very sophisticated. Like, this adds, I'm at the queen, I'm with the queen drinking tea kind of situation. You can swirl it really nice, get a little oxygen on it. But this shape kind of concentrates the aromas. And so, a lot of bourbon is kind of that sensory of what you smell. And a lot of your tastes is kind of dictated by your nasal cavity and what you're smelling on that bourbon. So it really is just about kind of concentrating the flavors and the aromas and having a nice little small glass so you're not pouring a whole bunch or having to put ice on it or anything like that. So if you're drinking at need and you're trying to really get into whiskey, I highly suggest you look at these. I think the description of the video may link to the stuff on my bar, and there's like a $60 or $70 12-pack of these guys on Amazon. It's where I buy them. Cadillac Lincoln, I'm stuck as the day woo, the day woo of live streams. Grand Nash GSX. The Grand National, I can't afford that. That's way out of the price range. Would you pay $429 for a new 4-gate 14-year at 144 proof? Right now, probably not. Like, no, probably not. That's a little price. Like, $429 is a lot for any bottle of bourbon. And a bottle of bourbon I've never tried, like, that's a high proof. I would not. Like, there's so many bottles out there I want to try. That one just doesn't pique my curiosity enough to spend that kind of money. Gin barrel aged. I haven't tried a whole lot of anything outside of bourbon. Like, I've drank a few things, but it's mostly bourbon for me, really. Like, that's the spirit I'm good at. Rum and tequila. Every story that ends with me almost dying or going to jail starts with rum or tequila. So at that point, I found bourbon. I really like it. All these other things I'm trying end up with me almost or in trouble. So I've kind of just like, that's why I like this series where we're just trying other things, right? We're trying the Crown Apple. We're going to try some completely different whiskeys or spirits. We're starting with whiskeys, but we're going to branch out to all sorts of stuff. The next Guy Fieri bourbon. Hey, let's do that. I have been talking. I had a little conversation earlier this year with a production company about possibly doing a spirits TV show. So we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. The guy I'm talking to is like bogged down in some other project. So he said it may happen. It may never happen. Who knows? Have you ever tried to pour out a bottle of whiskey because it was undrinkable? Nah, Jasper, we do enough. Like, I used to own a barbecue restaurant. I do a good bit of like ribs and different barbecue stuff. So if something's undrinkable, like I hate George Dickel. So I had a George Dickel bottle in bond. So I hated it. So I just boiled it down and made a bourbon glaze out of it. Like, it's fine as a bourbon glaze. So I don't pour them out, but like really my bourbon glaze is pouring them out. That's pretty much what that is. Blue Run High Rye. I really like the Blue Run High Rye. I've enjoyed it so far. I haven't drank a ton of it yet, but what I have had is pretty good. Not a fan of Johnny Walker, but blue is better than black, and black is better than red. Wouldn't spend the money. Like I was just gonna have a sponsor send it to me. That's the only reason you have sponsors, so they can send you stuff you can't afford, right? I don't know. If I was smarter, I'd be asking for money. I'm just asking for bottles. Any plans on reviewing Noah's Mill? Not really. Um, Not really. I mean, I had a bottle. I thought it was fine. But if you really want me to, I saw Gamtang in here. Gamtang's actually the guy that controls the list of whiskeys. He's my assistant that helps with the stuff that we're filming. So he really controls the list. If he says Noah's Mill, then we film Noah's Mill. At Roads Creek is kind of similar. Yeah, good call there, Todd. Todd, occasionally, I have my 63 Impala is up in Alabaster at a shop getting some work done. So I come up there every once in a while. Which Alabaster just south of Birmingham. Only ever blacked out from tequila. Yeah, that's the only real hangover I've ever had was drinking tequila. If you drink enough, I don't see how you say that, but I could drink a ton of bourbon. Like we've been sitting here doing blinds. I had 4 ounces of cask strength bourbon. We were drinking for an hour and a half over on TikTok. I've drank a ton of this freaking Hancock Reserve we're trying to get rid of. Like I can go crazy on bourbon and I'm good. Like no problems, no side effects whatsoever. But I'll hit freaking pitcher of margaritas at a Mexican restaurant and I'm in for a bad time. I have 3 or 4 freaking rums and I'm trying to catch moving trains and shit. If you're a Noah's Mill fan, you just might like it. I'll give it. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the the Rowan's Creek and Noah's Mill. Yeah, my 63 is a 2-door. It's 2-door hardtop. It's completely custom, right? Like shaved door handles, air ride suspension. Like complete I mean, it's a resto mod, I guess you could say, but it's taken forever. Like it's the never ending project. A good wine bottle filled with some great booze. All right, all right. So I'll tell him to add Noah's Mill. I get a lot of questions about it. It'll be great when I get big. I imagine a better job than tasting whiskey for a living. That would be a lot of fun. That I can't imagine. Like honestly, there's so many crazy things I want to do that require full-time attention that I just can't give it yet. Like I have just way too many stupid ideas and it requires funding, right? So it requires getting enough views to pay for it or enough patrons to pay for it. Honestly, I'd rather the views, but we've got a lot of really dumb ideas that we want to try to do. And it just takes being full-time focused on it. So hopefully we get to that point someday. That would be fun. Hancock's is good. It's just, it's getting down to the bottom where it's going to start oxidizing. So we're at that kind of finish this bottle off. So we're going to polish this tonight, it looks like. It's the sugar content of mixed drinks. It could be. Paul, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Fair enough. What am I talking about? Highly recommend a Knob Creek 9-year single barrel 120 proof. That sounds like a good time, Eric. I'll have to check that out. Good quality tequila has no issues. And Paul, that may be it, right? Like I'm not usually sitting here drinking a bunch of old fashions. It usually goes downhill when I do. I just drink too much because 2 ounces in an old fashioned and I'll just pound those things every 3 minutes like it was nothing. But I'm never drinking a tequila neat. So fair enough. Fair enough. How long the big gonna take for you to fix? I don't know what you're saying there, Alex. How long the big gonna take for you to fix? Yeah, well, this one's like the Impala. Literally, it's what we're calling it Eleanor at this point. It's like the unicorn you're never gonna get. But it's a beautiful car. I think it'll be finished at some point soon, hopefully. How long the Bug? Okay, well, yeah, I went and picked up the Bug yesterday, so I've got the Volkswagen Beetle out here. My daughter wanted a Volkswagen Beetle, so she's 14. We're going to fix it up with her. I've got to finish a Corrado. I've got a 90 Volkswagen Corrado we're working on. So I've got to finish that. Parts of it go to the interior shop on Monday. So I'm hoping in a week or two that project will be done. And then I'm going to loan it back. I bought it from a friend of mine. It was a very sentimental car that meant a lot to him. So I've been working on it for a few years now, and we're about to have the interior done. I've got it running. I'm just going to loan it back to him and let him drive it as long as he wants to free up some space because I'm out of space. Once that's out of my carport, I am buying another like carport, just a metal awning carport to park the Lincoln that we buy and my Super B. I've got a 2014 Super B. So that goes into the carport to free up the carport that's built into the house to actually start working on the Bug. So I'm probably 6 weeks away from working on the Bug, like actually starting, and I'm hoping to have the Volkswagen Beetle done sometime late next summer. That's the hope, if we can spend the time working on it. The house still has some projects to do. That may slow that project down, but definitely by the end of next year. But that's a full breakdown restoration. Like, we are taking every part off that car and restoring it brand new. Kept it carbureted. 61 Pontiac Ventura that has so many mods. Yeah, my 63 is all fuel injected. It's 383 stroker, so it's old school engine, but it's got fuel injection on it. I know you're a bourbon man. I'm a Scotch man, but what do you think about IPAs? Oh, no. No, I don't do IPAs, man. The hoppiness, like, I don't like malt. I don't like hop. I say single malt, like malt on whiskey. A malty beer is not that bad. Todd, appreciate you hanging out. Sorry if I missed that before you got out of here, but thank you for hanging out in the live stream. Trying to get more into bourbon. What are some good mid-level priced bourbons to start with? If you haven't had Wild Turkey Rare Breed, you need to do that. This Old Scout store pick was really, really good. This was $70-$80 here. Now, these are all MGP source stuff, but they're pretty dang good. Nothing wrong with a Penelope barrel strength. Mid-level price. Let's look back here and see what we got on the mid-level price. A Larceny barrel proof, if you haven't done that, that's a wheater. Pretty good stuff. Rebel 10-year-old, if you stumble across one of those, another really good wheated bourbon. Try to find an Old Forester store pick, whether it's a single barrel 100 proof or a barrel strength. Most of the Old Forester stuff, I think you need to experience that line altogether. So a 1910, a 1920, which is a little higher proof. Even the Statesman is a really nice whiskey. I'm a huge fan of Michter's. If it's got Michter's on it and you've never tried it, just buy it. Like, it doesn't matter which one it is. Bourbon, American whiskey, rye. If it says Michter's on the label, it's 60-ish bucks, I think. Just buy it. We got a bottle of Elijah Craig single barrel 94 proof. Strong. That's a strong. Okay. Matthew. Of course, the right glass and really knowing how to, there's a technique. Like, 94 proof is nothing for me these days. Yeah, Chris, the Corrado's been a disaster, though. It's been fun. It's a cool car. Nobody knows what it is when I show up places, but it is made out of unobtainium. You got to have 3 Corrados to keep one running. It's a mess. Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you hanging out in the live stream. We're enjoying it so far, and we really love. I love YouTube so far. My daughter really wanted the older, smaller Bugs, right? So after 67, they got a little longer. So we bought a 67, which is 67 is like they converted to 12 volt, so it's the modern electrical system, but they didn't make it a slightly bigger one. I'm not into super, not super hoppy beer. Like an IPA, not my thing, man. I'm a brown ale guy. So you give me like a Scotch ale or a brown ale, that's normally what I'm drinking. 73 Bronco, man, that's beautiful. You should do that. Steve says 1920. 1920 is good. Eagle Rare is a good one. I don't know if that's mid-price, though. That's like $30 if you can find it at MSRP. New Riff, good one. Yeah, Cheech is pushing the likes, man. Hit the likes. If y'all are just joining, or if you hadn't hit the like button, help me out. Hit the like button. hit the like button, join the Discord. If you want to just give me money to do dumb shit, the Patreon is the thing. Michter's Toasted Barrel. Yeah, don't do it. That's not mid-price though. Like it's $300 secondary. It's not that on, if you can actually find it at MSRP. But like 300, it's a good bottle. $300 is a bit much for that. I haven't had the IW Harper 15, so I can't say much about that. Got my IPA today, and I'm realizing that I'm not much of an IPA guy myself. Yeah, IPAs are not. My wife has a bunch of IPAs. We had some folks over this weekend to watch some football, and one of them were into IPAs. So she bought a 6-pack of IPAs, and that woman drank one. So now we have 5 IPAs upstairs, and nobody's ever going to drink those. Those are going to be like Saturday afternoon. Jill forgot to buy beer. I forgot to buy beer. And now all I've got are these IPAs. I'm going to force myself to drink one and remember how much I hate IPAs. GTS 2020. Nice. That's a beautiful bottle, man. Hate that you're killing it, though. Baker's 7 is actually a really good choice there, Bob. That's an excellent selection. I like the Baker's. That's a Jim Beam product, so it's Jim Beam. It's actually like, I hate to say this, but like you've got a lot of Jim Beam products out there, right? Like this, where do we put it? Oh, the Old Tub, right? Old Tub, that's a Jim Beam product. And correct me if I say something stupid, y'all let me know. But this is a Jim Beam product. You've got you've got the Basil Hayden stuff back there. You've got a lot of stuff that Jim Beam puts out under different labels. I think Baker's 7 may be like the perfect Jim Beam product. I do like the Booker's Expressions, but the Baker's 7 is like a regular drinker. Is maybe Inactive Cactus is getting audio issues. Anybody else getting audio issues? Newcastle Brown, nothing wrong with that. I like that one a lot. I don't know anything about Suntory. Oh yeah, Rare Breeds is just as good as just about anything, Rob. Hey, there's no hating on Rare Breed here. It's good. It's good. Cheech dropping the Discord. Thank you there, Cheech. Hope you see that, Steve. When in doubt, Old Granddad 114. Good, cheap, high-proof whiskey. Bill says the audio's fine. So Chris says fine. So it must just be you. I apologize that you're having those problems. No, I don't think MSRP is $300. No, on the Michter's Toasted. I think that's secondary pricing. Yeah. Oh yeah, if you're looking at like a store, the online shops, they sell it at more than secondary. Like if you see, because I'll see, what was it? Well, I mean, even like Pappy 23 is like $5,000 on some of those stores. And normally you can get it for 3 something. I mean, you may not anymore, but online shops sell it above secondary for somebody that just really wants it and wants to get it from a reputable place. So everybody says audio's good. Looks like that's good. I was making me nervous because if you weren't here to start the stream, I had absolutely no audio. I was running audio through the camera and it was getting none of it. So I had to like go grab my Rode Procaster here and set all of it up for this stream, which I guess I'm gonna have to buy another one for in here. So it's just gonna get more expensive. It gets more expensive to be the Lincoln Continental of bourbon live streams. Yeah. If you're having audio problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but the audio's not one. You can't find Old Granddad 114? That's fairly available here. Likely my browser. I'm sorry about that, Inactive. Total Wine and local liquor stores with no luck for OGD. Gary, just jumping in the chat. Gary, what are you drinking, man? We've just been hanging out and having a good time. We still got 69 folks on here. I can't, like 10 o'clock. I can't call it with 69 folks. What do y'all want to talk about? What should a true bourbon and scotch lover try for a good bourbon? Well, if you're a bourbon lover, so what are you into, Joe? Let me know what you're into. What do you like? I'm getting with that fancy bottle. Looks like folks are either hitting me up in the Discord or joining the Discord, so that's awesome. I'll jump on those Discord chats here in a little while, hopefully. Worst case, I'll get to you in the morning if you sent me a message over there. Found all the Weller in Atlanta, like all the Weller. Oh, I mean, yeah, you found it for $500. I mean, $40 for a special reserve, that's high. But if you never had it or you're really into it, it's $40. $500 for a CYPB, that's way below secondary. Like that's one of those bottles realistically you could buy and flip for $700-800 on the secondary market. So you could make money there. So that's not terrible. Is CYPB worth $500? Hell no. But it's a good bottle. It's not worth $500. Definitely not worth secondary prices, which is like 7-8 last time I checked. Hey, Steve, we may drop all sorts of things. I can't play the music here on YouTube. I guess I could to or monetized. Like, who cares if we're not monetized, right? But I'm trying to not get in trouble with YouTube. So we're trying to not play. I could play some, even with this microphone, I don't know if I could play music. I need to get like the audio actually set up over here in this thing. Have I ever gone on any distillery tours? Not a ton. Like, Skylar, you got to understand, I work a ton. Like, there are a lot of weeks I work 100+ hours on something or another, right? Like I'm running I got a small business. I'm trying to create content for it on the side. So I've got to deal with the business. I got to deal with content. I got to deal with conferences. I got to do, and then we're trying to create bourbon content. So I don't get a lot of places, unfortunately, which is what I'm trying to change. That's why I'm trying to buy Lincoln so we can go more places, make the content about going places and doing things and hanging out with folks like y'all. So I want to go to more. I have done the Jack Daniels distillery tour. That was a lot of fun, but I haven't done like the Bourbon Trail or anything. So, but I want to. I think that would be a lot of fun. Just water at the moment, but pondering a nightcap. Well, don't let us be a bad influence, you know? Rusty just become a Patreon. Look at us. We're like all legitimate and shit. If we could get to 20, like I said, if we get to 20, we're going to start doing we're going to record once a week. I'm trying to set it up to where we record at least once a week for like several hours. And we're going to do a live stream that's patron only for that. Make sure if you're patron only, or if you're in the Patreon, make sure you're in the Discord. Patreon kind of gets they get a little iffy on some of the giveaways and some of the fun stuff we want to do. So a lot of the things we're going to give away, a lot of the conversations are going on over on Discord as well. So make sure you're in there. I will make sure we're kind of, making sure we go through all the Patreons, the new ones, especially tonight, and getting them in the patron only chat over on Discord. This Saturday, I'm going to be giving away a bottle. We've got Auburn and Penn State. So we're going to pick the winner and the score, and we're going to give away something there. So I got to figure out what it is, but we're going to do some fun stuff there. Really like Bullet or B&J Scotch, but want to open my eyes on how amazing these whiskeys are. There are a ton of really great whiskeys, Joe. So that's awesome. Missed the part about Old Elk. I got a pick of bourbon for $40 as a part of a bundle. It's great. So the one the Old Elk I've got here is their wheated. And a friend of mine brought over a store pick, and I had this one, and his store pick was exceptional. Mine, it's just pretty good. Like there's just something on it. It's good, but there's some flavor there that I'm having a hard time, like picking out and describing to y'all that keeps it from being exceptional for me. I mean, if I was the world's best whiskey taster, I would be able to pick these things out. I'm just trolling him. I don't know if he's still hanging out in the chat, but I am the world's worst. I'm not the worst. I'm the world's least helpful whiskey reviewer. And so I just having a hard time picking out how to describe to y'all what that flavor is. There's Discord right there. Cheech is on top of it. Hey, make sure y'all are following Cheech. Cheech, drop the mic there on your live stream. Cheech helping us out with the moderation here. And Cheech has a really fun live stream he does late at night. So lots of late nights. He has a stream, and y'all could jump onto his stream and have a good time. And we're gonna work on some capabilities here where y'all might be able to jump on this stream at some point, sometime too. I've just got to work on the infrastructure. Like right now, it's a super basic setup so that we can come into the bar here. Is Buffalo Trace something I see often? It's not like I can't just go to the store any day. It drops here in Alabama just about every month. So I can get a couple of bottles every month if I really wanted to. And normally when it drops in like the allocated whiskey drop, it'll be there for a day or so. So it's not like all of it gets taken up in the drop. So I could buy a bottle, come back later that afternoon, get a couple if I really wanted to. But yeah, I mean, if your store only has 2 bottles and it's, MSRP, grab them. They're pretty good stuff. J&B Scotch. No, I got you. I was with you there, Joe. So Rusty, if you're in Patreon and you're in Discord, we got to add you. Like, we just got to add you to it. And right now I'm hanging out with you folks. So I'll get in there. You'll be in there by tomorrow. No problems. We'll go in there and make sure we kind of rectify and figure out who joined and add them into the right channel. So no problem. Yeah, there's some flavor there that's not great. And I can't describe it. I don't want to say some really dumb note, but there's something there I don't love about that old elk. I like it, but there's something I don't love about it. Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Join me, Isaiah. Pop that double oak. Let me know what you think about it. In on the Patreon. Hey, there's a lot worse things to spend $5 on. It's just like I said. It's like I said, Timothy. I promise. 100%. I will absolutely spend the money we make from Patreon in the most reckless ways possible. That's all I promise. We are going to do a lot of dumb shit with it. And I can't afford all the dumb shit by myself. So y'all, every little bit helps us do dumber shit. ADH's posting AD. I guess he bailed on us. Oh, there he is. World's okayest whiskey taster is up for grabs after I was promoted. We're the least helpful. And it's funny. We've taken these things from comments we've got on video. So we got somebody that's like, you're like the world's worst bartender. I was like, yes, perfect. Thank you. And they took it as they were knocking us. I was like, that is the perfect description of what we're doing here. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then somebody posted like, this is not helpful at all on one of our whiskey tasting videos. I was like, yes, we are the world's least helpful whiskey reviewer. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we're just adopting that as our mantra. At least people know now that we're not serious about any of it. What do you think of Johnny Walker Black Label? Don't know, Joe. I mean, I'm not an Irish Scotch, like I'm bourbon, right? So don't know a whole lot about Johnny Walker Black. I have Johnny Walker Red. Don't love it. We're going to do Wednesday, Steve. Wednesday every week, and we're thinking about a second day. So Mondays seem to be kind of what we're leaning towards right now to do Monday. So we're thinking about maybe a Monday, Wednesday stream. I may try to start that next week. I may not be able to. We'll see. But Wednesday is our thing. Like we're all in on Wednesday. So we've been doing a lot on TikTok. I was hoping to get a stream key on TikTok so we could simultaneously stream in both places. But TikTok is like, oh, if you want a stream key, you got to stream for 15 days a month for 40 hours. And I'm not that committed. Like I was like, oh, I could do 8 days a week for 24 hours. Can we do that? And they're like, nah. So we're going to stream a little bit on TikTok on Wednesdays, but I think we're going to go all in Monday, Wednesday on YouTube. Chris, sub to Cheech. Y'all make sure you sub to Cheech. Hit the like button if you haven't already. That's always helpful. And if you somehow figured out how to get here without being subscribed, I don't know how that actually happens, but you probably need to rectify that situation. Go ahead and subscribe. Way of explaining things is not as easy to identify. I missed that comment. I apologize. We're just trying to be approachable. That is the thing we try to do, right? We're not serious. I'm never going to tell you something tastes like leather and burnt tires, because I don't know what a burnt tire tastes like. Real Nizzle says regular Buffalo Trace, full shells of it up. Where are you at again there, Real? Thank you, Brady. I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate you coming in here. And I'm glad you like the videos. I like Elijah Craig. I'm not a huge fan, like the barrel proof Elijah Craigs everybody's raving about. I don't love them. Like they're pretty good. Some of them are really good. I like to add a little water to them, and they're actually even better. So a couple of drops of water, and they really open up. The flavor profile of Elijah Craig is not like my favorite thing in the whole world, but I do like them, and some of them approach really good for me. Might conflict with Monday Night Football. Paul, we got priorities here, man. That's a good point, though. Steve, it's a great dessert whiskey. Gotcha. We got 100 likes. That's nuts, folks. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Michter's US. Oh, I love Michter's. I love everything Michter's. Like if Michter's would just send me bottles, I would just be a Michter's fanboy. All of our videos would be Michter's. It'd be what can we do with Michter's? I love Michter's. Thomas says beginner. Okay. I like the small batch, but thinking about the barrel proof, and it depends on the batch as to how good they are, right? I think adding a little water to them, just a couple of drops of water, really open them up and make them a lot more interesting to me. But it has some of that kind of, I don't know, it just has a flavor that's a little off-putting to me, a little bit, but still pretty good. I like the small batch, but okay, I just read that one. Switching to Jameson Black. Then you tell me inactive. What do you think about the Jameson Black? Michter's Sour Mash, Michter's Rye, all the Michter's, like all of them. But no Ascot Zone. I mean, at this point, I'm assuming you got to be like taking a dig at Fred Minnick with the Ascot. And I like Fred. I like his reviews. I really do. But it's definitely a different approach, right? Like that can kind of, turn some folks off. Paul, I haven't had the Michter's Tin Rye. I had a bottle. A friend of mine really wanted it. So I gave it to him. And so I haven't even tried it. I think Nate is going to hook me up with one, but I haven't seen it yet. So John David from Scotland. Nice. But you're not going to see me sit here and hate on any of the other bourbon content creators. I think a lot of them are doing great stuff. I really like Fred's content. I watch a lot of his content. I think he does a good job. So conflict, no such thing. You have football on, you have this on, you do multiple things. Maybe we watch the game together. Is that what we do? I just comment on the game while drinking. We just drink and make fun of the football players. Drums and Drams in the chat. What's going on? That was a fun live stream last night. You may be set up. You maybe get my setup a little better. I saw your setup. I was like, well, I got to at least move in here to the bar. So it's not like I set this up in 30 minutes. So it's not perfect yet. But hey, I enjoyed hanging out with you last night. 1,000 hours of video this year for my business is that is a shit ton of work. Hey, thank you, Bill Scott. I appreciate it. What kind of videos are you creating? The Real's in Seattle and Buffalo Trace is everywhere. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Hipsters don't drink Buffalo Trace. Is that what we're? Hey, Drums and Drams, let me know whenever you want to do it. I'm down. Whenever you want to stream together, we just do it. Pretty new to bourbon, got a bottle of Elijah Craig small batch. It was a bit hot to me, but it's a baby bourbon for the real whiskey guy. Yeah, you gotta be careful with proof, right? Like if something's super high proof and you're not used to it, or even if it's not like 100 proof is just like that's table stakes. Like that's just nothing, right? For me, but for a lot of people I share it with, people come over. I was like, oh, try this 100 proofer, and they're like, oh my god, that's really hot. So I get it. You just got to kind of ease into what you're into. Have I tried Blanton's original single barrel bourbon yet? Of course, Joe. Yeah, I like Blanton's a lot. I'm not a Blanton's hater. It's way overhyped, but it's still delicious. Like it can be overhyped and delicious. Blanton's Gold, though, whew, man, paint me a fan of that. Give me some Blanton's Gold. Somebody hook me up with a Blanton's Gold IV right now. Drink and make fun of Eli and Peyton. So Eli and Peyton are making fun of the game, and we're making fun of them making fun of the game. This is like some sort of weird Monday Night Football meta. I think it could be a thing. Like, I don't know. Just saying maybe. Y'all let me know. $50 for a Michter's one. I like that. It's more expensive than that here, so I have to pay more for it, and I love it. So at $50, I buy it all the time. Not hating just some of the take. Yeah, no, I get you, Steve. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to say anything negative about him. The tasting notes, everybody who has to create tasting notes has to be like, you got to look at it as entertainment. Like, you got to look at it as entertainment. And the problem we have is that a lot of these whiskey tasters don't make it obvious that it's entertainment, that it's just their opinion. And then you get a group of people following them that's, you know, that kind of reinforce this is very serious and they're being very serious. And you just kind of get this atmosphere where it's not obvious that it's, you know, entertainment in their opinion. And that's why I think a lot of YouTubers are great, like ADHD Whiskey, who's been hanging out in here, right? He's obviously, you know, he's being silly, he's being fun, he's not taking anything too serious. The bourbon junkies, you know, they're having a good time, they're playing around with it, and so it's just obvious. And then you get somebody like Fred who takes it very serious, and is giving, you know, very serious tasting notes. And honestly, Fred may, you know, he may be taking it. I haven't never met the guy in person, so he may be taking it very serious. But it's, you know, it's just the whole idea of it. And when I'm giving tasting notes, the whole idea of it is a little bit preposterous, right? But I think the best bourbon content creators are kind of self-aware of that, right? Is it legal to live stream the game? No, I cannot actually stream the game. You would have to watch the game while I'm reacting to it. Yeah. Hipsters. Dang hipsters. I'm in Alabama. My tasting notes are your favorite videos. Well, thank you. We've been debating, like, is that something that's going to get old? Like, how long can I ride that train? I don't know. I don't know if I need to slow those down. They all seem to be doing well. We just dropped another one this week, a short this week. We dropped the long form. And if y'all are really, you know, like, if you really want to help me out, just make sure you're watching the longer versions of these. The longer versions really, like, we're trying to get monetized. The longer versions, and honestly, the longer versions are funnier. They got a little more packed in. Instead of 60 seconds, we go 2-3 minutes with those. So, you know, it's just like, I don't know how long we could continue to do those. Like, I feel like they're a little, the last one made me sick. I was sick for like 2 days off of that freaking cigar I blended up in that damn thing. But, you know, it's like, how long, like, I don't know. People keep watching. We'll keep doing them. I don't have any King of Kentucky, Austin. I need one though. If you got a hookup, let me know. Never had an issue getting it. I understand. At some places, it is regularly available. The one I got was a rye whiskey, and I'll buy it again. Almost reminds me of Elijah Craig rye. Okay. You talking about were you talking about the Michter's rye? Found me through shorts. No idea why. Hey, Eric, here we are. Well, the shorts we get a ton of views on shorts. Like, honestly, we are way ahead of where we thought we'd be. We've had pretty good. I posted for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months sporadically on TikTok, and we did pretty well. And so I took 6 months off when we moved into this house, and we've been working on the house. I took 6 months off, and I didn't post anything for like 6 months. And then I was like, okay, let's get serious. I'm going to get serious about it. We're going to try to put out at least 3 or 4 videos a week. And we started posting on TikTok, and that's when we started. So July 5th, we've only been posting regularly on YouTube. I think I'd posted like 1 or 2 shorts just to see what they'd do. We've been posting regularly here since July 5th. And it's just like, and the stats are insane. Like, I can't wrap my head around the stats that shorts are driving for us right now. So we're not having, we're having a lot of, honestly, if the long form videos, if we had the stats we have now and the shorts were gone, I would be ecstatic. And we're getting like 400, 500 views a day, up to 1,000 views a day on long form videos. I would be ecstatic. The shorts though, like that, I can't wrap my head around that. Like, I can't, like, I hate to even talk about it because I don't want to come across as conceited. Like, I cannot wrap my brain around. We're doing like 500,000 views a day right now over the last few days on YouTube shorts. I come from a town of 200 people. Like, my hometown is 200 people. I live in a town right now with 30,000, a city with 30,000 people. I cannot wrap my head around 500,000 people every single day watching one of our videos. Just nuts. So apparently we're doing something right. I just got to figure out how to keep doing that and not, not let it be a flash in the pan. I'm an Auburn grad, Steve. So I basically live in Auburn. Alabama, Georgia border. First time watching, Brian. Thank you. Well, you're pretty close to me. I'm just over in Opelika. If you could create a playlist of your longer form videos, yeah, and we do some playlists, but I'll make sure we do that. I'll make sure we have like a playlist of just the longer form stuff. Confidence that I'm going to be a big YouTube channel, inactive. I hope so, man. It'd be awesome. Like, I think what we've been able to tap into that's fun, that's different. Like, we wanted to be different. And what we've been able to do is to take bourbon and make it more widely appealing. Just whiskey in general, but make it more widely appealing. So, like, and an example of that was today's video, which has done great. Like, it's done well over 100,000 views on YouTube, and it looks like it's going to be, or on TikTok, looks like it's going to be a big video for us on YouTube. YouTube just takes longer. YouTube takes 3-4 weeks, and then they take off, right? But we took what was this Redline honey cask. This is not their honey cask, but it's a Redline bourbon, a honey cask. And so we basically took a whiskey that nobody's ever heard of, and we made a video that was entertaining to folks that don't drink bourbon. And so that's hard to do. Like, it's hard to make something that, a little more broadly appealing. So that's really what's worked for us on those shorts, is branching out from really into bourbon, focused people, and go a little more wider, which is why we get a lot of folks that are, I'm not super into bourbon, or I don't really drink whiskey, but I'm here because I like your videos. So sorry to hear about that, Miller says. Auburn grad. Hey, it's all good, man. Ole Miss looks fun. That's going to be a fun game this year. Whiskey you would recommend for someone getting into it? So it's great question there, right? So if you could get a Buffalo Trace, an Eagle Rare, an Elijah Craig small batch, something like that. Like, let's stay 80, 90 proof. Like, let's stay kind of easy sipping there. That's where I'm going to recommend you start at, and then kind of work your way up. Maybe a Four Roses single barrel, if you can find one of those as well. Bubble bath in the house. What's going on? Bourbon food pairings video, Isaiah. That's a great idea. I appreciate that. Trying to start a lawnmower with Weller Foolproof. Yeah, Steve, I talked about that a little earlier. I don't think I want to go through. Maybe we talked about on TikTok earlier, but that video has a whole backstory and a context that is completely lost because the video blew up way beyond the context. And I was afraid when we posted that it was going to blow up beyond the context, because it's such a good video. Just because it's so like, your stomach drops because you want that bottle, and I'm pouring it into a lawnmower like an idiot. And it's not going to start the lawnmower. But realistically, like, the point was not to start the lawnmower. I didn't want it to start the lawnmower. I thought it might attempt to start the lawnmower. I thought we might at least have a good, sputtering and puttering of the lawnmower. But realistically, that was a video that was in response to a previous video and some hate I got on TikTok. But that video got like 20x the views of the video it was in response to. So the whole context was lost on that one. Realistically, what that video was is I just wanted to pour out a bottle of Weller Foolproof in the most spectacular way possible. And that's what that was. Like, I wasn't trying to start a lawnmower. And a lot of folks don't get that. And I understand why they don't get it, right? So they just get in there and call me idiots and stuff, and that's cool. They just don't understand. See, I'm not a big cigar smoker guy. I enjoy them. My wife hates cigar smoke, so I can't smoke in the house at all. And this is all in the house. So if I had a place to smoke, and I thought about trying to build like a room where I could smoke indoors, I could definitely go outside. So it might be interesting, but I really got to get more into cigars to do it. The shorts have been showing up on my suggested videos a lot more lately. Yeah, they're definitely pushing. I think we've got good momentum, right? So now, used to be we would post a short. So a month ago, I'd post a short, and it would be 4, 5, 6 weeks, and it would just get a few views. And then 6 weeks later, it would take off to the moon to like 1 million views. Now we post one, and it's going to get 50,000 views in the first day. And then who knows, it may die at that point and then slowly grow, or it may just keep going to the moon. So we've definitely built enough momentum to where they're recommending them. The worst part was that because it had so many views, I actually thought the stupid more was going to start and then the video was just over. Yeah, I was hoping for more. We only have 60 seconds there. And so a lot of folks are like, oh, you didn't really do it because, well, there's a longer form version you can watch that shows. But we tried for half a freaking hour to start that lawnmower. But none of that footage made either cut because it didn't add anything to it. And realistically, the point was not to start the mower. So if I wished I would have thought it through a little more and I would have done 2 or 3 other things to try to start the mower. Like I wished I'd have just started the freaking mower, but would the video have done as well? I don't know. That's why it was great, Steve says. You can smoke in your house as long as you've got proper ventilation. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of like we've got, I've got a bunch of unfinished space over here. So I'm thinking of putting some ventilation in there, sealing up the doors and building like a whole space underneath, by the bar here. I've got like this, it's hard to explain, but I've got, hundreds of square feet of unfinished space over that way. We just took up about 30 to add to the bar, and I've still got a ton over there. So I'm thinking about adding a space for that, but it's got to like not get any. My wife doesn't smoke, so she's like super like sensitive to any sort of smoke. My 160 proof Frankenstein tub mix in the lawnmower. That's actually interesting. I like it. But like, do I become the guy that just puts shit in a lawnmower? I don't know. Maybe, maybe we just keep upping the proof because I've got like 180 proof moonshine we could put in there. Maybe we just become the guy that keeps upping the proof to see if the lawnmower starts. I don't know. The funny thing is that video popped to like 2 million views on TikTok and it was over. Like TikTok gives you views for like 2-3 days and then it's done. They've changed it a little bit. Like we're getting views for longer durations. We don't get like the huge push day one. We'll get like 100,000 views day one of a really good video, not a million day one. But then it'll get views over a couple of weeks. But historically, like when that video popped, it got like 1 million views in like a day and a half. And then over 2-3 days, it got 2 million. And it was over. And we posted it on YouTube like the same time, I think, or right after that. And it got a few views, like it did okay, maybe got 100,000 or so, and then it was sitting there. And then all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 days ago, it just went through the roof. Like it just went up and it was doing like 200,000 views a day. And I'm like, I thought that was kind of behind us. We were like, that's been like 6 weeks. That's done. That's in the past. I don't have to deal with all these hateful comments and all these idiots. Because we try to reply to every comment, even the hateful ones. It's kind of fun. I like trolling the idiots. So I do enjoy responding to some of those. But I was like, we've moved on, and now this video is kind of popped back up. So it's like, do I really want to go back and post more lawnmower videos? That's what it boils down to. I bet it'll start. Oh, all right. I may try it and just not film it. We may do a Patreon only video to where we try to put the moonshine and the old tub in there and see if it'll start. I have tried making some moonshine, not my own bourbon, but that may be coming. Like I may be trying my own bourbon. I've got a buddy that's got a still, and we're talking about trying to make our own actual bourbon. Not sell it or anything like that. Go to drink after a long day's work. I mean, realistically, I don't drink every day unless I'm hanging out with y'all and may grab something light like a beer. Lots of times, if I'm just going to have something, easy sipping, I'm going to have an old fashioned. What I wanted to see was the aftermath. Were you able to drain it and get yeah. So we drained it right away. The mower would not start. I had to take it's one of these newfangled self-priming, god awful, it's like hard to work on kind of lawnmowers because lawnmower's only a few months old. So I ended up taking the carb off, but I couldn't get it's got like a bowl on the bottom of it, the float bowl that fills up. I couldn't get that apart. So I ended up just putting it back on the mower and spending 3 hours. Just pull it, prime it, pull it. It'd run for a second. It would die, prime it, pull it, and just sit there for 2 or 3 hours, pulling that dang lawnmower like 1,000 times until I finally worked all of that weller out and the actual mower started. So it took me 2-3 hours to get that mower to run again. Like a weed eater? I don't know. I mean, put a little oil in it. Probably. It's a good chance. Trolling the haters is kind of fun. It's tiresome, though. None of them are really good though. Like I'm really looking. I may award a good troll. Like if I find somebody that's doing a really good troll, I may give him something. Like I may literally say, "Hey man, send me your address. I'm gonna send you a price." He probably won't because he's gonna think I'm gonna like, freaking swat him or something. But I may, if I find a good troll, because they're all really bad. Like if you're wasting time posting hateful comments on the internet, you're probably an idiot because there's better things to do with your time. So I just haven't found a good one yet. All right, Rusty. No, definitely not tomorrow. Apparently, my wife has won concert tickets tomorrow night, so it looks like I'm going to have to go to some concert for somebody, and then I might have to get up early Friday and go buy a Lincoln Continental. But there's a really strong chance. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're in the Discord, I'll post it. But there's a strong chance we're going to start going live on Mondays as well. So may see you over there on Monday. Well, Bubba, I don't even respond necessarily with niceness. Like some guy told me today, he's like, "Oh, you need to stop eating," and I was like, "Well, you need to stop commenting." Right? There's one I posted in Discord. It's one of the funniest replies I've ever had in my entire life. Like I feel like it's underappreciated. Like I have gone back to this reply 3 or 4 or 5 times, and I just laugh my ass off with this reply. And I feel like nobody gets it. Like it's just the funniest thing I've ever said in my entire life. But I got a comment that says it was on the Weller video, the lawnmower video, and it says, "This is the dumbest thing this is the dumbest idea I've ever seen." And the commenter's name was Mario Lopez. Mario Lopez. He said, "This is the dumbest idea I've ever seen." To which I replied, "The Saved by the Bell reunion special was dumber." Now, how many people in the chat get that? How many? We got 58 people. We've run off like 20 people in the last few minutes. How many of y'all actually get that troll? Like, that's a troll on multiple levels. And I'll explain to you. The dude's name was Mario Lopez. Mario Lopez played Slater, AC Slater, in Saved by the Bell. So the fact that the dude said it was dumb, and the Saved by the Bell reunion special was pretty dumb, and his name is Mario Lopez, like there is no reply to that. There is no coming back from that, right? There's none. I win. It's over. Game over. Get out of here. Game over, right? So that was a lot of fun. I have fun with the trolls, right? Especially when they say something really dumb. Like it's a lot of fun, and it helps the engagement. So but he didn't even reply. But yeah, he probably had no idea what I'm talking about, which is even better. Because honestly, if you're posting stuff like that, you're probably an idiot. So you probably don't get when somebody actually brings out some high level humor to you there, right? But I don't know. I just feel like that needs to be on the troll. There needs to be like a troll hall of fame or something. And I need like at this point, I may be the world's best troll. I may be. I don't know. I'm definitely the most useful whiskey taster, but I might be the world's best troll. Because none of it bothers me at all. Like none of it sticks. I don't care. Like anything you say, I know. Okay, I'm fat. Great. I know that. You're very observant. It's wonderful that you were able to notice those things. That is observation skills is something that is very lacking in people with limited intelligence, right? So it's interesting that you actually have those qualities. There's just like really nothing you can say that I don't already know. Like you're not going to hurt me with the truth. If you just make up some lie, okay, maybe, but like trolls are not usually that good to do that. So ADHD brought you over here. Nice. He was hanging out in here just a little while ago. Start a Twitter with just quotes and comments and responses. That would be funny. A lot of people think I'm a troll because my parents are cousins. Hey, first of all, you're spicy and you're inbred. At least you're self-aware. That's cool. I'm from Alabama, man. We don't really judge cousins for getting married. Hopefully they're at least like third cousins. Hopefully, but whatever you're into, it's not illegal. So, all right, what we got? 61 folks. What time is it? 10:30. All right, we're going to go to 11 o'clock. Let's go to 11 o'clock. This is a New Orleans glass, I believe. So New Orleans glass right here. I like it. I don't like it as much as the Glen. Like the Glens are the ones I bought. These are ones somebody gave me. So the New Orleans are what I bought. And I keep buying these because I keep breaking them. But this is fine. I like the little knob on the bottom. Like seriously, I joke about being able to hold my pinky out, but realistically, I just like this experience better than this. Now they're dirty over here, but the glasses that the aged in ore, or was it? Was that right? I think aged in ore glass I got from the Bourbon Junkies. That's a pretty good glass too. Like that's a good experience. It's nice and heavy. Like it's kind of like a New Orleans, but it's just a more pleasant experience. Like it feels more substantial. It's got a nice weighted bottom to it. Like I prefer this over this, but I still am kind of a Glencairn, if I'm drinking whiskey neat kind of guy. Like I'm just more of a Glencairn kind of guy. All right, so what are we into? Only my great grandparents were cousins. There you go. You good to go. Poured a nightcap of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. I need a bottle of that. Like that's high on my list of bottles I need that I don't have. So um I need it. Enjoy it. I've had it, but I've never had a bottle. New Orleans. I think New Orleans, like what you just spelled there. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. It's been a long night and I've drank a lot. Nordic is kind of close. Hey, you weren't too far. I at least knew what you were talking about, right? Um, I don't have the flight set. I just have that bottle or those that I did end up with two of those glasses. Um, I mean, for those that were at the Bourbon Junkies Pours in the Park, or at least the whiskey tasting afterwards, the bottle share, it got a little out of hand. We made a lot of noise. We ended up outside, a bunch of us, and my glass disappeared. So I ended up going inside, and Dan from the Bourbon Junkies found me drinking out of a plastic glass. Now, at that point, I was mixing really expensive whiskeys with Pepsi. That's a long story. I don't know if y'all are ready for, but I was mixing really expensive whiskeys with Pepsi in a plastic cup, and he gave me another glass because mine had disappeared. But at the end of the night, when we were kind of cleaning up outside, and we'd kind of got run back inside, um, there was a glass left out there. And I don't know, I assume somebody just picked mine up, or maybe mine got moved. So I ended up with two of them. So I'm really excited about that. Bougie Alabamian. Hey, I'll take it. You can't troll me. I'm bougie. Like Applebee's on a date night. The bottle flight. No, I haven't had that. The aged door neat glass is pretty solid. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's like a rocks. Exactly. Bubble bath. It's you could put some ice in it. You can make a mixed drink in it. Like it feels like that kind of glass, but it's really good for a neat bourbon. Hey Kyle, check out this early. It's all good, man. We're only going to go for like 25 more minutes here anyway. So, I'm trying to get as many views. Like we got to get to 4,000 watch hours, and shorts don't count. So we're a little short of monetization. So I feel like I'll hang out as long as folks want to hang out and talk. Norland, there you go. Norlands. Cheech has got it. We should do some bottle trading, Mr. Salty. Make sure you're in the Discord. I don't know what kind of bottles to try. I've got my closet back here. I think y'all can see the door over here on the closet. It's a whole pantry that runs the whole length of this. Now, my wife is storing a few things in there that I'm trying to get her to get rid of. But so I've got like thousands of bottles worth of storage back there. I don't have thousands of bottles, but I've been kind of I haven't been buying a lot of bottles lately, and I've been giving away a lot of bottles. So I'm running short on bottles to trade, but I'll acquire some more. We'll figure it out. All right, Bubble Bath, I'll do that. We're gonna put it. It's all got to be the long form video. So basically, if you look and it's got a rectangular, rectangular thumbnail. Basically, if it's got a thumbnail uploaded, it's the one that counts. So I'll get it. But we got to get to 4,000, and we're at like 1,400. So live streams like this help. Like so far, we're only at like 15 minutes average view duration. A lot of folks are leaving and coming and going. So we'll see what the watch time of this comes out, but we'll get it over the next couple of weeks, few weeks. But thank you. I appreciate the offer. That's awesome. Yeah, make it easy for folks to binge. We're trying to improve the long forms. The long forms have really been longer versions of the shorts, and we're trying to not do that. Like, we're really trying to focus on creating really good longer videos. Now, the longer stuff is kind of fun and funny. Like, if you saw if you watch the Detling video, like, Lord have mercy, we get crazy in that one. I knock the bottle over, I break a Glencairn, like, shit gets crazy in that video. And none of that made it into the shorts because we only have 60 seconds, right? Thank you, Affected Orion. Haven't started drinking bourbon. Well, welcome. Don't let us be a bad influence, but if you decide that bourbon is your thing you want to enjoy, that's cool. If you want to just drink something else and hang out with us, that's cool too. I appreciate you being here. I'm needing another bottle of Rock Hill Farms. I am not going to be able to help you with that at all, Mr. Salty. I have a backup bottle. I have one I'm drinking. I have a backup bottle, but those do not leave. Once they come here, they do not leave, right? Like, this is like the sixth circle of hell for bottles of Rock Hill Farms. Like, once you get here, there's no escape. I am drinking you, so can't help you with that. Well, thank you, Trent. I appreciate it. I will create a playlist, but you can look at videos. A lot of them are longs, but anything that has a thumbnail. If you go to the channel, like most of the playlists we've got set up, we've got the tasting. I know we've got the tasting notes set up in a playlist, and the long forms all count. But thank you. I'll try to make it as easy as possible. What bottles I'm looking for? I'll make a list. Like, right, most of my stuff, anything interesting or new, I'm looking for. Right, if it's a new release of something, I'm looking for it. I do need a Sazerac 18 to complete that. I need anything Old Fitz Decanter bottle. I'm a sucker for. I love those. But realistically, outside of that, if it's not like, if it's just kind of rare or obscure or new, I need it for content or to try it. Yeah, Cheech, I appreciate you. If you're interested in Patreon, if you're interested in supporting in that way, no problem. If you're not, hang out, have a good time. It's cool. We've got some cool giveaways and stuff we're doing. You got to be, a Patreon to do those, and join the Discord as well, whether you're a Patreon or not. Now, if you're a Patreon and you join the Discord, we're going to give you kind of access to a special channel where we're doing some football giveaways and different things on Saturdays. So having a good time. And we're going to build those. Like, if it's not obvious, we're a little odd and a little different. So we're going to try to make sure that everything we do, from the Patreon to, the content that we do, is always a little different and above and beyond what most folks are doing. So I could use an extra on. I understand that, Salty. I need a Saz 18 to start the BTAC collection. And here's the problem, Gary. Here's the problem is I don't think I'm going to like a Sazerac 18. I don't like Sazerac. The Thomas Handy Sazerac, pretty good, not great. So the Sazerac 18, I just don't think I'm going to love it. But it's the only one I haven't tried and the only one I don't own. So I need it. Like, even if I got to pay a premium on it, I'm not going to pay like ludicrous price for it. But I need it, because I don't have it and I need to know. Like, I need to know. Like, the Handy is obviously a lot better. Like, I despise the normal Sazerac rye, but the Handy's pretty good. So maybe the Sazerac 18 is exceptional, but maybe it's just pretty good too. I don't know. But so it's one of those funny things where it's a super highly desirable bottle everybody wants, and I really want it, but I want it despite not knowing if I actually thinking I probably won't like it. Do I get into ryes? I'm not super into ryes. We're getting more into them. Like, I'm finding some that I really like. And I think my problem, like the video we posted where it's like, I don't like ryes, give me some ryes I like. You got to understand, if you're on YouTube, that video was like more than a year ago on TikTok. Like, that was an old video we just repurposed because we needed something to go out that week. So I found some that I've really like the Michter's Barrel Strength Rye is exceptional. I found some ryes that are pretty good, but I still haven't gone like super deep into ryes. I've got a lot of really great recommendations from those videos that we just haven't found yet, and I need to. But we're just buying, you know, Drake's whiskey and Conor McGregor's whiskey, and that's where all the budget's going at this point because those make good videos. Sooner or later, I'm actually going to have the budget to just buy whiskey because it's good, not because it makes a good video. So what do you think of other liquors like Disaronno? I mean, Disaronno is probably like a mixer, right? So like we were just drinking this Crown. Like what do we have? We had Crown and Sprite. We mixed Crown, apple, and Sprite. So I'm trying to try more things like this. I don't know much about Disaronno, but Crown and Sprite's pretty good. Crown Royal Jack Daniels, I find harder liquor really cool and interesting, but it's definitely you got to get used to it, right? It's an acquired taste. I didn't drink, I did not drink whiskey at all until I was in my 30s. I didn't drink at all. Like I pretty much stayed away from alcohol. Y'all got to understand, I was married and had a kid when I was like 18, 19 years old. So I didn't really like I was working, trying to provide for a family and doing all the things I needed to do until I was in my 30s. Like I didn't have money to go to bars and go out. I didn't buy a lot of alcohol. So I was really in my 30s before I started even drinking beer, like really drinking anything on the regular. So I missed a lot of the college stuff. But even in my 30s, it still took a while to really get into beer and really get into, you know, some of the different expressions. And I really didn't start drinking bourbon until my late 30s. So really only been super deep into bourbon for, you know, 5 or so years now at this point. Try a Sazerac 18, funky as hell. Exactly. 3 of the Sazerac 18 on hands, salty. You're get in the Discord if you're not, my friend. If you got 3, let's talk. We can work something out. A buddy of mine gave me an 1977 Old Fitz Luck of the Irish decanter for my wedding in a couple of weeks. God, I don't think I have friends that good. Like I just don't think I don't think I have friends that good. I'm gonna be honest. Nobody likes me that much, man. That's awesome. I'm assuming it's full, right? Like it's not just a decanter. Like that's got 1977 Old Fitz in it, dude. You got to open that. You got to open that. You got to open that on your wedding night. You got to share it with you. Don't even let the groomsmen in. Share it with your wife. Share it with your best man. Put a cork in that sucker and pop it open every 5 years. That's what I would do. I mean, maybe 5 years is too much, but pop it open once a year and share it with you and your wife after that, right? Like that would be freaking awesome. Any try of the rye of that ADHD? I don't own any AD. I'm assuming that's ADHD whiskey barrel picks. I've again, we're kind of new to the YouTube scene here. I've been watching some of their content off and on, but I haven't really been engaged in their barrel picks. I did try like his Bardstown stuff and some of the stuff at the Bourbon Junkies thing, but I haven't seen any of those barrel picks. I got to get more involved in that for sure. Those, oh, I love Michter's Barrel Strength and Michter's Normal Rye, probably the ones I go to the most. Hey, Mr. Salty, don't talk about that. We're not wheeling and dealing. What are you talking about? We're not doing anything. Nothing's happening. We can't talk about these things. Sees, we are still streaming, man. We're having a good time. We're going to go for about 12, 15 more minutes. 20-mile bike ride. We're going to like 12 or 15 more minutes. That's awesome. See, and you just stopped and hung out and decided to watch some bourbon streaming. What's up with that? Full planning on opening it at the rehearsal dinner with him, my dad, and her dad. That's perfect, Daniel. I love that for you. Woodinville Cash Strength will not be on its way relatively soon. Okay, what do you mean it will not be on its way relatively soon? Oh, I get what you said. Never mind. He will not be sending that to the P.O. box that doesn't exist. Yeah. Send me a sample. All right. Let me know. When you got Cajun chicken strips, went and got Cajun chicken strips. I'm back with, where did you get the Cajun chicken strips? Did you at least get them from like Popeyes? Like, did you get it from somewhere legitimate, or did you go to like some substandard, like we put some Cajun seasonings on it? Did you get some good ones? Yeah, exactly, C's. 20-mile bike ride. I need to do a 20-mile bike ride. It's not going to happen, but I need to. That would be fun for about a mile. And then I'd probably be dying, and I'd have to like have a surgeon remove that seat from me. Got from a Texaco station. Are you serious? You being serious right now? Like, the funny thing here, I forget where you're at, but the funny thing here is there's a lot of like gas stations that actually have pretty good food. There's a lot of like, we got a gas station, we had a deli, we got some old woman that comes in and cooks our food. Now, a lot of them are just like, we have some frozen crap we bought from the Cisco truck and we prepare it. But some of them, every once in a while, you find one that just has like really good, like hand battered chicken fingers, or they do really good biscuits in the morning or something. Like, you can find some really good gas station food in the South. It's kind of crazy. Now, it's hit or miss. Sometimes you find good gas station food. Sometimes you find a biscuit that's been sitting there for 5 hours. Like, it's a bit of a crapshoot, but you got to roll the dice if you're going to figure out. Just make sure you take notes so you remember and don't do it twice. It's a business in the station that makes good chicken. I got you. Oh yeah, 20-mile bike ride is dead. That is a death sentence for sure. Lake Havasu City, Arizona. That sounds like, I mean, just the fact that it has the word lake in it sounds like a very pleasant bike ride. Some of the best breakfast burritos at a little local non-chain gas station that have a restaurant attached. Exactly, Bubble Bath. Where are you located, Bubble Bath? See, like none of the gas station stuff here does tacos. Like, you don't get like gas station tacos around here. But I'm in the Southeast. So you get like chicken biscuits, you get fried chicken, stuff like that, but you're not getting like gas station tacos. So almost all the gas stations around here are owned by some old white dude or Indians. Like, there are no like Mexican restaurants in gas stations. I can't think of a single Mexican restaurant in a gas station. Those are either the best chicken strips or the worst chicken strips. Exactly. There's no in between. They're the greatest or the worst. So like somebody legitimate solid 7 out of 10 chicken strip quality. Get you Bucky. Hey, they're actually building a Bucky's like, I don't know, 10 miles from me. One of the big Bucky's. Bucky's is solid stuff. I stopped at Bucky. When I went to Michigan, I stopped at Bucky's. My wife's like, "Why did you stop at Bucky's 4 times?" I was like, "I needed gas and some beaver nuggets and a barbecue sandwich." Like, that's what I needed. I needed these things. And she had never had beaver nuggets, so she found my bag of beaver nuggets because I didn't eat them all on the way home. And she's like, "Okay, I get it." She found them, she tried them. She's like, "I get it. The only thing I'm mad about is that you did not bring me a bag home." Culver's. Culver's is pretty good. There's one Culver's around here. I don't need it a ton, but it's pretty good stuff. California. Yeah, I bet that would be good. I bet you would have a lot of good breakfast tacos there. 20-mile bike ride for chicken fingers. But see, Orange Crush, that's how you stay fit, is you use like, I'm going to have some chicken fingers, but I'm going to ride 10 miles to the chicken fingers and I'm going to ride 10 miles back. Whereas my fat ass is like, I want some chicken fingers. Can I call somebody to bring them to me? No. Okay. Nobody delivers chicken fingers. Okay. Well, I'm going to hop in my truck and I'm going to ride to some chicken fingers and I'm going to buy them and I'm going to bring them back. So around here, Guthrie's is like the best chicken fingers. So we go get some Guthrie's and we bring like a bucket of Guthrie's back. And then I eat those for like 2 days. I would be better off if I would just do a 20-mile bike ride. And then the chicken fingers were the reward at the end, not just the thing that's making me fatter. Some of the best fried chicken is from gas stations in Louisiana. I have a buddy, actually my brother-in-law, he works at Kia. So he works at Kia, which is across the state lines in like West Point, Georgia. And he kept telling me, he's like, "Man, there's this liquor store I go to called Frisky Whiskey. It's like, Alabama has high taxes. So every time you cross a border into another state, there's a bunch of liquor stores right on the border because they're cheaper. So I go to Frisky Whiskey. He's like, man, you need to stop. Everybody at work's been talking about this chicken joint in this gas station. And it's the gas station, like Frisky Whiskey is attached to a gas station, but then next door is another gas station with a chicken joint. And he's like, everybody's raving about this chicken joint in this gas station. And so I was like, all right, I got to go to Frisky Whiskey this weekend. I'm just going to get some lunch while I'm there. So I pull up at Frisky Whiskey. They don't have anything I'm looking for. So I leave out and I look at this gas station, and this is not a good gas. Like the gas station that Frisky Whiskey is attached to, okay, 5 out of 10, fine, no problem. Frisky Whiskey's kind of nice, but the gas station, a little iffy. The gas station next door, extremely iffy. Like it's one of those, you wouldn't go to the bathroom at this gas station. You look at it and you're like, like I've got a very strong chance of getting out of here fine, but I've got an equal chance of getting stabbed while I'm here, right? And it's like one of those gas stations. And you're just like, I'm not so sure about this. I don't know. I pulled up and I sat in the truck and I'm like, I don't know, but I'm one of those curious people. Like somebody tells me I got to do something. I was like, I probably got to do this. So I rolled up in there and I got me a little chicken box. And I come out and I'm sitting in the truck and I pop this chicken box open and I was like, it looks pretty good. So I ate it. That's some damn good chicken. This is one of those things. I wish that I checked the health department rating because it's probably not good, as dirty as this little gas station is. But there is a Fusakli's here, Daniel. There is one Fusakli's here as well. I don't think I've eaten there yet though. Cali Tacos. Last time I was in California, I was there with Adobe for some work stuff, and they I go all the way to Los Angeles and they feed us Nashville hot chicken. And I was like, this is against my ethos. Like I can't eat Nashville hot chicken in Los Angeles. I wish they'd have just gave us some tacos. Frisky Whiskey's pretty good. Try the chicken joint next door though. Boudin Balls from Louisiana gas station. I've had those, but I've never had them from a gas station. Pretty much every gas station around here has tacos. Pretty much everyone around here has chicken fingers and biscuits in the morning. With being a major agricultural area and a large migrant population, there's great Mexican food here, the Southwest, here in Southwest Michigan. Okay. And we've got a pretty good, Mexican population here as well. Not huge, not like, California or Texas or anything like that, but there's a few good taco joints, but there's not like gas station tacos here. Yeah, it's not a thing. Nashville hot chicken. Yeah, it was like, honestly, the Nashville hot chicken was pretty good, but I just have a rule. I have a general rule, and I travel a good bit for work, especially. My rule is if I'm in a place, I can't eat a food with another place in the name. Like I can't do it. I can't go to Los Angeles and eat Nashville hot chicken. I'm not going to go to Chicago and have a New York style cheesecake. Like give me some deep dish pizza. Give me some local. Like give me something that like is here, right? I'll go to Nashville and have Hattie B's if I want some Nashville hot chicken. I don't want to travel all the way to Los Angeles to have some Nashville hot chicken. Give me some Los Angeles. Like, what does Los Angeles do well? And honestly, sometimes that gets me in a little bit of trouble. Like, I'm not gonna go to Dallas and have a Philly. That just seems dumb to me. Like, give me what is Dallas about? But sometimes if I go to like events that are sponsored by somebody else, they have something that is very like Adobe had Nashville hot chicken. I'm like, are there other options? And they're like, not really. I mean, we have hot chicken and not hot chicken. Okay, good then. Can't get chicken strips from KFC because KFC doesn't serve chicken? Where are you at, man? Houston is one of the better food towns around. I was actually considering going to Houston Friday I was looking at a Lincoln in Houston, but I just don't think it's the right car. So I've decided to go to South Carolina to look at that one instead. But I was almost in Houston this weekend. Highlands Grill in Birmingham changed my life. Okay, so what did you eat there that changed your life? I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've had this place. So Local flavors for the yeah, exactly. Exactly, Cheech. Like that just makes sense to me. If I'm in Chicago, give me a deep dish pizza. I would rather have a bad deep dish pizza in Chicago than good Nashville hot chicken in Chicago. That's just me. As someone who has been in a kitchen since age 3, my only qualm with Nashville hot chicken is how oily it is. I appreciate taking my time with the breading to make that the primary source of heat. That's fair enough, inactive. Fair enough. Um, yeah, it can definitely be greasy. Yeah, I'm not going to go to Montana and have sushi. Oh, no, no. No, I'm not. I'm probably not going to Japan and having sushi either. But like sushi's a little different, like it is a Japanese thing, but like I can have pretty good sushi in a lot of places. But if it's like the Japanese special roll, if it's like, I don't know, sushi, I treat sushi a little different. Like I'll go have brisket somewhere outside of Texas. But if you're going to give me like, a Kansas City style barbecue, I'd rather have it in Kansas City. Steve says steak. What did I miss, Steve? Just steak. I can have steak anywhere. That's right. I'll eat steak anywhere. Having moved from OC, which is 3.3 million people, that's a lot of freaking people, to Arizona in a city of less than 50,000, I can tell you definitively that one huge downside is the lack of authentic taco stand trucks and places. That makes sense. Want to go get some barbecue? I need some barbecue. I like food. Hey, Tommy, it's pretty obvious. If you haven't figured it out, I like food too. Yorkshire pudding with thick gravy? I don't know if I've ever had Yorkshire pudding. I'll be honest. I don't know if I've ever had. I don't know. I don't think this is a thing I've tried. Do I need to go? You make it sound like I need to go seek this out. Shut them down, but it's world class. Pecan old fashioned, Hoppin' John, boneless quail grit. That sounds pretty dang good. Where do you get a boneless quail from, though? It's quails come with bones. When I'm traveling, I look at the parking lot. If it's full but looks like a dump, that's where I'm eating. And that's not bad advice. It's really not bad. That's what I like to do. And I tried to explain this to my wife. So my wife likes to travel. I like to travel. But my wife wants to go to kind of nice hotels, not super fancy, but she's not going to go stay at a dump. Like it's got to be like on up there on the scale for her. So, a little bit pricier. And she wants to go do some of the touristy things. I don't want to do any of the touristy things. What I suggested we should do is, can we just rent an Airbnb in a place for a couple of months and then just go there and live as locals? Let's do what the locals do. Let's shop at the local grocery store. Let's cook at home. Let's go to the local restaurants. Let's live like we lived there for a couple of months and then move on. Like that is much more entertaining and fun. And hanging out with locals and get to know locals, that is a lot more fun than me going and doing putt-putt golf or something like stupid touristy, right? Crispy chicken and Chester's chicken at gas stations. There are a lot of Chester's chickens around here. Taco food stand inside and crispy chicken. Hey, that's a good comment. Can I get like a crispy chicken taco? If you haven't hit the like button, as Cheech says, do so. Jill kills a steak. She's here, man. She's here. She can hear me. She might be watching the stream at this point. Salty, you can't. Like, you got to know that I did say she was back, didn't I? I may not have told you. Sorry, Jill. You do a great job with steaks, Jill. Los Angeles has expensive everything, right? It's Mark Wahlberg's family burger place. Wahlburger. Okay, I got you. We have Whataburger around here. That's kind of pricey. I went to a freaking Checkers the other day, and it was like $60 for me to feed 5 people at a Checkers. I was like, what the hell are we doing? Los Angeles. Okay, sorry. It scrolled up and then back down. I think maybe we got rid of some comments. Texaco station nuzzled in a corner, but it's got some. Hey, nothing wrong with gas station chicken. That's what we've decided here. Popeyes is pretty good. I got no hate for Popeyes, not at all. What are we up against? It is 11 o'clock, guys. I think it is salty. It's all good. She takes it pretty well. Yeah, go to the city, ask locals for the best food. That's where it's at. So I think we're going to call it. It is 11 o'clock. We still got 50 people. I want to keep hanging out, but I do have to get up early in the morning and try to film some videos. So Will's going to be here. We're going to film a bunch of videos and stuff. I may go live tomorrow while we're filming. I don't know exactly what time. It will be an impromptu stream. It will be here on YouTube only. So make sure you're subscribed for that. I appreciate everybody hanging out and joining. And, it's fun. 122 likes, Cheech says. That's great. I mean, we've still got 40 something people here. We had 70 or 80 people here at one point. This has been a fun live stream. Let's keep continuing to grow these. I'm open to any and all feedback that anybody has to make these better. Did y'all like the blind flight? Was that fun? We've got some ideas to turn this into a bigger production once I really get everything set up here in the bar. That's going to require a little bit of budget and a little bit of time to kind of get everything set up because I've got multiple cameras and graphics, and we really want to put on a show, maybe bring some of y'all in and do some different things and have some fun. So all good. It's a great time. I appreciate everybody hanging out. So anyway, we will catch up with all y'all later. If you happen to be in the live stream, make sure you're in the Discord. Of course, I'll post in Discord if we go live tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, there's like a 75-80% chance we're going to go live on Monday, but we absolutely 100% will be live at 8 o'clock Central Time next Wednesday. So I will see all of y'all then for sure if I don't see you before. So wish me luck in the Lincoln Continental hunt. I'm going Friday to look at the first one in person. It is a beautiful white navy full vinyl top. You can see pictures of it in the Lincoln Continental channel on Discord right now if you want to. So appreciate everybody, and we will catch up with y'all later.